behind the scenes with this squad on this map. It was able to take Vitality to the limit. Let's see what it will do to Navi. Navi are fast into the A play. Fasha with a backstab does have Regali alongside it, but that smoke from Alexi, that's annoying. And that slows them down, giving a bit of room for a lurky Simple to come in with the backstab.
Yeah, he knows there's more in store as well. Fasha, even if he gets this kill, he won't forget about it. Everyone's dead. Fiku getting run down, and the Glocks will do it for Navi. They come through with a statement pistol round. Quick A-pop, you're going to see a lot of those on the T side of Anubis, and Navi brings some pace in to take away the first. So you sell this to me, Harry. If you're calling for the OG 2-0, why?
Well, you know, I think the thing that's like romancing me a little about this team is that they're kind of the leftovers. I would look at it as like the creation process as to whoever invented the Long Island iced tea probably came to that conclusion.
Just a bit of everything.
You just kind of have a couple of spirits left in the cupboards. You shouldn't be mixing these. Every bone in your body says, nah, this is wrong. But then you did it, and it created something quite beautiful, actually.
I love that.
And with OG, you know, you very much have the kind of leftovers from roster shuffles that have gone by. And I think thus far, they've played greater than the sum of their parts. So there's something to be said about that, and I think for folks like Fasha in particular, someone who we saw fit the bill of a star player on Ecstatic, and then have a very troublesome time in that Fnatic squad where he transitioned into like a more supportive element for the team. I think he wants to show he's still got it. But this round up against the full buy of Navi, it's not gone swimmingly for OG. One man in at the back of the site, Fiku. We call him the lone wolf, usually great at operating alone. But that's asking way too much of him. He'll get run down. And so Navi, they find this conversion, no problem.
Yeah, Fiku, we've always touted him as a clutcher, and he's already been showing that here at Cologne so far in the couple of games that they've played, especially that one over Complexity. He was a real nuisance. Definitely broke that team into pieces. But doing it against Navi, doing it against Simple and Bit and the boys, easier said than done. It's going to be Quito, the sole German in Cologne, to save his Deagle armor, and Navi to come through with a clean second round, only losing the Mach 10, so money is not a problem. He's standing on the rock, he's not swimming. I'll give him the benefit of the doubt.
All right, Hugo, sell me on Navi.
Do I have to? Do I need to?
I mean, just did my set. I think it was a good pitch, honestly. I had a whole metaphor planned and everything.
Yeah. You came in with a Long Island. I like that. Yeah, Navi are favorites, no doubt about it. I shouldn't have to tell you why. I think Alexi is... This is for me, Harry, I fear Navi. I fear how high this team can go. Like, this is a matchup Navi should be winning, sure, but if anything, I'm more leaning to your side. I understand why you'd go for an upset pick, because I don't know how high Navi. I
sold it with the Long Island metaphor.
It was good. I just love the idea of too many spirits in one cup. No, I think if Iem can stand tall and give us not the same performance as he did at Paris, but anything even close, this Navi team's super threatening. But so far, we've not really seen that form out of him. JL, I've said it a couple of times, has seemed like the best addition individually that Navi have had so far. And so, for me, a lot of the success of this team, if we talk further than this matchup, is going to rely on someone like Iem stepping up. I think if Navi made it to the arena, it could be a very different kettle of fish, considering the experience, very recent experience some of these players just got. And Alexi as well, strangers to stages, been in major finals, Katowice twice, G2 as well.
Yeah, I think this is a series where you can really keep an eye on both the Romanian players here on either side of the field, right? Regali for OG, Iem for Navi. Has been cool to see the rise of Romania here as well, right? More and more players coming up. You've even got Volt, who obviously had his time cut short, but Gonna keep a keen eye on it. And I was even looking, actually, Regali's first HLTV game was up against Iem.
Really?
All the way back when Iem was in Nexus. So there's even, some history there from years ago, right back from when Regali was very, very young, very young.
Nexus is a cool name.
Yeah.
I forgot about that. Zello, that was a time when he was playing in Epsilon after that team. There have definitely been some talents come out of Romania, but we just haven't really seen them make the same runs. I think there's a rumored obviously on that rumored TSM team, a young Romanian by the name of Modo, I think it is, that I'm not too familiar with, but he was rumored to be on that roster. Simple, doing simple things, getting rid of these pistol players on the way out. Next, trying to make them die with a bomb, but Simple will clean it up. 4 for the man as Navi go up 3-0, and now the game really begins. OG, this is their map pick, and they are on, to a degree, the harder side, right? They get the map pick. Navi go for a T-side choice, which I love. You don't see it really on any maps, but this one. And so they're getting it out of the way, but they also know they are somewhat favored here. Defaulting is very powerful on the T side of this map. CTs, we've seen them get more comfortable with making aggressive plays and taking space, so we'll have to see what OG want to throw Navi's way. An AWP attempt down lower. Regali finds nothing. A smoke lands for Navi. They're looking to take middle late after the util expires. It's on his A default, but team coming back to him. And A executes do definitely seem like one of the stronger options on this map. OG leaning 3B in this gun round, very heavy. Trying to make a read. Right now it doesn't look to be the correct one, but these constant re-smokes are allowing for this stack. It's a third smoke user A main in this round, but it still won't stop Navi. They're coming in eventually. Fiku's even backed up into the bomb side, meaning he can concede middle and play with his teammate. But by the time they find out Navi is splitting A, it will already be too late.
Yeah, Fiku's really got his work cut out for him here. 1 kill from the map, but he's got to do so much more, especially as main gets corrupted. This gets more and more awkward for these side players. Keto caught on this on the fade of that main smoke. I think he thought he was a little further behind the pillar than he actually was. He was fully open to it. So it does get awkward, but they've at least traded evenly into this 3-on-3. Fasher, first man in around the corner, and JL makes quick work of him. Nade for Nexa to follow up. Will find a bit of damage, but nothing to write home about here. Knows he still has JL trapped, but JL's got no reason to peek. That molly is going to force a swing, and so Nexa rewarded with 1. Regali still a ways out here, late through middle. And with nothing being found, it looks like this might just be the save for OG.
Damn, he never knew how viable it was. Bit had his back turned, crouched in camera.
He fully wrote off that connector flank out through middle.
Late. And that's a bit awkward for Keto there. Yeah, I'm not sure what that was. Like misreading the timing of that main smoke, and just being, obviously he has to be open to either main or towards connector, but he's covered from Con and he can just fight main and try and trade out Fiku, who dies to that A split. It almost looked good for OG on the A site if they could trade 2 for 2, but yeah, this is where it all falls apart. No one watching the smoke. JL locks it down in the post plant until he's forced to make a play, and Navi, seeing why they picked that T side after all. As Alexi said, they may have been caught off guard in the veto, but Navi have done their homework, or at least their preparation. Seeing some nice mid-rounding so far from Alexi. And OG are just left to scraps around this AWP and M4.
I mean, yeah, this is the exciting thing about the new season, right? It's kind of discovering what work has been put in behind the scenes, what maps are comfortable. This is the first time we've seen this new look Navi squad take to Anubis, so if they end up looking sick here, I'm sure other teams are going to be thanking OG for getting that info out of Navi early.
They've definitely seen this, haven't they? Very aware of the aggression towards B main. Regali trying to cover. He will hit a nice shot into Ema. His teammate still pushed up further. Simple's going back for the bomb. Almost punished. The jump saves his life, and he can just rotate, reset to the T-spawn. Meanwhile, they get the A pick. This is all falling apart for OG. Fiku, kill them all or lose a round.
Yeah, he's got to do a lot, and armed with only the Deagle trapped in. That molly's going to make life very miserable for Fiku. So it's cleanly done over here towards A for Navi. OG just too far removed to even justify giving this any sort of a look in. Nexa probably shouldn't go any further than the temple where he is right now.
Yeah, they just double save their guns again, and this is what we were talking about to start this game, the options for CT aggression. I'm interested to see how Anubis has developed over the player break, you know, see what moves CTs go for. I think Vitality right now seem to be, you know, ending the season on as the best team in the world on this map. You know, we had a couple of rosters try and challenge that. phase looked pretty good at one point, especially during last season of Pro League. I remember Heroic floated the map into... was it Vitality? Or no, Navi at Pro League, and they had a monstrous, aggressive CT side. You felt like they won the game off of it, but then they couldn't get it finished on the quote-unquote easier half. So teams are still trying to figure it out.
And I think, you know, even that game that you're referencing, that was like one of the, for my money, one of the cornerstone games that like gave rise to a lot of the CT opening moves that we see nowadays, right? And kind of was a bit of a case. It was like an awkward 2v2 retake where they were never even going to attempt it once it got to that point. So considering that's like the best looking round you've offered so far, you really want to try and throw a bit more resistance the way of Navi. Because right now they feel like they have so much freedom. I mean, even, you know, it's some of these kind of set-piece rounds over towards A, it's coming down to just these heads-up fights in main, and then the round is decided on the back of them. Simple wants to be involved early to open this one up with the AWP. But the util is going to make life a little awkward for him. It's separated him and his teammate. Iem played ahead of the Molotov and will get fed to Fasha, who's finally on the board with his first. Util exchanged over here in dark, but space has been taken by JL. Oh, Fasha saw the jump up, decides to just get out of there. If that wasn't so weird on the timing, that would have been his kill, but he just looked away, and you could tell it kind of threw everything off, made him feel awkward. He just says, fine, I'm fine with the 5v4. And so not able to punish JL's jump peak. Down in dark, Navi now look further afield.
Yeah, to what's been working, that's been these A splits, right? The pressure on Quito and Fiku yet again to play in tandem, to have good synergy here as they go back to take A main. This is a nice move as Navi are getting closer. They're going to leave Alexia on a bit of a late mid-lurk. It's being watched by Regali's AWP with a tight angle. So it's all on these A main entries. Fiku playing anti-flash. They contact in. Quito takes his. Can't do two. Are they ready for Fiku?
Oh! Checked by Bit.
Barely.
Raw execution of him in the corner. And so the man advantage sides with OG, but Navi are going to have this bomb plant to rely on. Simple drops the bomb forward.
Wow.
And he's been throwing the AK, giving that AWP over to Bit. Simple wants to try take a bit of space here. Moving up onto the bricks, and Regali nails his teammate in the meantime as Bit tries to climb up heaven. Simple has got to do this alone. Doesn't have that AWP. It's Bit's AK in Simple's hands that's got to win this round, and Regali does not give the now that he's embraced the English comms. He's funny, man.
That skit yesterday.
The skit with Blade in is fantastic. He can also do a great Seth Rogen laugh. I learned that from him.
Yeah. Why,
which I was very surprised about. And I think the rest of Navi were at that time as well. I don't think that was something he'd showed off publicly.
No,
so,
you've doxed him.
But I hope we can convince him to do it. Maybe we'll get it out of him if Navi win this series.
That would be big. Why did Seth Rogen come up? Were you being...
He said I sound like Seth Rogen when I laugh.
That's what I was going for. Wow. Burning out in lower. Double molly swap. Navi, what do? They go back to A? It's the right call. Quito's here with an AWP, though. We've got two in the pocket of OG. This is an interesting change-up. And considering how dry Navi have been taking A main, the most they've used is one flash for a close position. Quito should have a shot off.
I think the strongest A-holds on Anubis are provided when you have an AWP and a rifle working in tandem, but right now it is just Quito with this AWP. He lines up the collateral. That's a weird decision to try and peek it like that, and Quito dropping down will fall at the hands of JL. This A site opened up. He landed that collateral, so JL is wounded. That's why he's picked up this second AWP in the post plant. A 2-AWP post plant, you can make that work. The AWPs can just hold sight lines and deny this first bit of pressure that OG looked to apply. This is kind of awkward for OG. They need a kill to go their way, and they need it to go their way quickly. Flash in a main. Well placed. Alexi is forced off the angle, but it's kills going the other way. Navi find all of them in seconds. This round is over. And Navi break down the door at the A site again. This has just been their pocket strat, their go-to. rinse, repeat the A plays, and OG are not able to withstand it.
Why stop it if it's working? And you mentioned the tendency to play double A main with a rifle and an AWP. Once they got that pick and traded out onto Keto, they were so aware of a new round of Navi, gotten ahead of the possible changes that OG might ensure. Aggressive into A main again. Honestly, and why stop?
This is becoming a little concerning.
Yes.
They've played the double mid setup now, so they're like hoping that the faster rotate allows them to pad out A. But this is where, for Navi, they know that they've spooked OG to worry about the A side. That one kill is huge, yeah, and the bomb has been outside of mid over towards B since the start of the round. Navi, it was always their intent to pressure the extremities over towards A and then get a bit weird in the mid round here.
It's a big opening kill. How much will OG panic? Because they're pulling a third player over as well. Regali's making his move in CT spawn, and Navi have been holding B with the bomb all round. Oh, that's a crucial kill. It's going to show OG that this is all a fake, all a ruse, and now they need to get their running shoes on and send the player back to B. Fasher moving back to a safer position, realizing that he is alone and they're likely surrounding him. And OG start to shuffle across the map. That B main smoke from Fasher couldn't be timed better, as it's finally fading now. OG have players in position, more than enough.
Fasher still has a molly nade as well. He can make this awkward as they try to play it down to the wire. The kill from JL helps get them in, but Regali will respond. Util raining over for Navi. Nexa concealed in the smoke. Gonna try and play it on the fade. He hears another drop down, but he goes walking. Regali creeping up. And Fiku bringing it up right behind him. Everyone from CT or Temple. And Alexi gets rid of that first man. Fiku now dead. They know that Regali was over at CT as well, but that doesn't make dealing with him any easier. Alexi's got to do the heavy lifting alone. Wins the first fight, but can't best Regali, who has been the multi-kill hero for OG. In the rounds that they found, he put up 3 Ks in both of them. And so Regali, he said in every team he's been in, he's had to be the star. In this matchup, he's got to be the star for OG.
Oh yeah, you're playing up against Simple. You better be winning your AWP head-to-heads to some degree here. You can't let him run all over you. And JL's been very keen to pick up AWPs when he finds them, giving Navi a lot of double AWPs on T side. Some overfacing for Navi in the post-plant at the very start of it, but that's... I like the pace of that retake for OG. They don't rush it. They let Navi sweat. And both players kind of give up their position. Oh, good spam. Boost up though. Simple almost gets his revenge, but his teammate is not standing wide enough. Alexia lets him down, literally. And so they can't get that trade. It felt like there was a good opportunity there for Navi to equalize. Strong grenade through main. And OG still back to 2 on A with the AWP.
Right now, Navi need something just to try and give them a bit of room to work with here. They don't really have info what's happening anywhere on the map. They don't know about middle. They don't know that this Regali AWP has found itself over towards A, as you mentioned earlier. And so they're trying to cut off info over in mid. They lob this smoke out just to make these A players antsy, but it looks like Navi have got their sights fixated on the B play. That smoke over towards camera has drawn Fiku off of B for a moment and put him on the wrong side of the Temple smoke. So suddenly, even though you've got 3 players over towards the B site, you only have 2 fighting. Navi are playing this one down to the clock. One kill in the right place from Fasher at the back of the site, or Fiku alongside him will go a long way, and it has for OG. Simple does not have time to plant this. A couple of nice kills on the exit, but he will get...
It's cost him a Galil. Worthy trade. Ooh, that's good spam. JL was trying to fast run Dark. He might just go through. Navi are grouped right outside B, ready to go.
Yeah, it feels like they want to give us something a bit pacier here. Util raining out through main. For Navi, in these few rounds, time's been a bit of an issue, but this one is no such problem. Just Regali left to get past. One man with this AWP trying to turn the tide of the round, but it would require something huge, and he gets flashed off the angle. That's going to force a save already out of OG. Navi, they could feel time being an issue. They ran out of it in that last round, and so they go, all right, There's no way we run out of time if we go in the first, 30 seconds of the round. It's an explosive play. They send JL through the dark smoke. He does really well to get that opener. It's all helped out by that flash. I think it was from Bit.
Yeah.
It's a great util, and
yeah.
considering the Bit as well, I think throughout this first half, one of the reasons why they even, Navi even have this many rounds is that Bit's been very switched on these main lurks, just harassing Quito there, and that's gone on long enough now that it feels like OG aren't trying to challenge too much for this deep main control. That kind of freed up Bit to even be around to throw the flash for JL.
Yeah, it's just conditioning as well for Navi, just going for so many A main pops in a row, even if they, more often than not committing, but towards the end, they just started taking that 5-on-4 and running away. And now OG, who have been playing Triple B from, round 2 of this game, finally don't have the numbers in the B bomb site. Navi make the perfect timing on that B call, going very early before OG can shuffle anyone over and make a read, make an aggressive play. And now they're just left with 3 saving into an eco. So this is a really solid T-side for Navi, and it's going to get better if Regali peaks. Simple as on the angle, waiting, hoping for an opportunity to strike. Regali holds the other side of the pillar. Who is more patient? Regali won't make that mistake. And this is the first time Simple's even, played towards this angle, just holding dark for an opening kill, because Navi have smoked it every single round. I think Regali has an inkling. This is too easy. This is too free. I can't go for it. He looks elsewhere instead.
Ima's holding back over here towards outside of B. I feel like Regali's had a good head-to-head versus Ima. Will that keep up? Ooh, he saw him on that jiggle, so he knows that someone's back outside of B.
It's a nice, safe play for Ima, not to over-fight that. Doesn't need this kill. It's just more info for Alexi B to work, and look at the space he's taking. Of course, it's an A split.
Yeah, this is the real test. That smoking at main is problematic, and with Alexi falling over in middle, this round gets thrown into disarray. You can't really wait for that smoke. You need another door opened up, and JL will do it. Double kill from him on the dark push. Bomb getting retrieved, but chase being given from Quito. He's in with the backstab, and Bit's going to turn on a dime to find him. The chance sails away from OG. Fiku slowed down for a moment, and so he can't stop the bomb as it transitions into this side of the map. A save called out for OG. I thought that Fiku was going to get running there, was going to try and, get that trade onto Bit, knowing the round would be won. But he anticipates that Bit's going to hold for a second. Just wait and see if there's that second man. And in doing so, Bit's allowed to get out of there scot-free. This head-to-head between Bit and Quito has been monumental as to why the scoreline is so one-sided for Navi right now. Bit is flat-out owning Quito in these fights. There's no other word for it.
And Quito's been fragging inside of this OG team. He's been putting on some really good games. JL can't find his gun. Yeah, that's so weird. Okay, he's found it. Nice. Yeah, there's been some really solid performances out of Quito, looking like a star of this team at sometimes. And man, that one hurts. Good comms from Navi though, because JL considers going back after he trades out Simple with that double and dark. He thinks about getting the bomb at 25 seconds. He looks at it, he stops, but then the call is made. No, take the space in B. Make sure we actually still have the bomb site after your entries, and Bit can bring it in. If Bit dies there, the round is over. He hits an absolutely nail-biting shot onto the A main flank. And it's getting better and better right now for Navi. Boost up again. Simple hits the flick and he makes it look easy. Ooh, boy.
Yeah, kind of
Simple's
a lovely,
fighting well today.
He is. Both him and Bit are. As the 2 signature Navi players.
Ooh.
Quito, that feels good. That feels like a that one's not so nice feeling, but
gap.
Given a route into the A play again. And Quito does feel uncomfortable over at main. Even in a lot of these rounds where we've seen like weirdness around the pillar, just kind of being a little wider than maybe he intended to. Couple of missteps here and there, giving kills away. And Navi feel like they're just kind of bullying him now, right? They want Quito in his head, because if you can have that A anchor who's responsible in a lot of rounds, especially when OG are kind of piling more resources over towards B or going for these double mid plays, you know, if you're able to have that A anchor just doubting every move they make, oh, you're rubbing your hands together. You know you're on your way to a good T side. And so they're doing a great job of making Quito look foolish, of making him feel uncomfortable here. Yeah. And as mentioned, it's in the rounds where OG try to compensate for that, that you see Navi go for these slower rounds, right? Where maybe they look for the kill at A, but then they pump the brakes, they explore other avenues. That's where you're helped out massively by someone like JL, who likes to go and challenge the extremities in these rounds. You're helped out by him finding his footing in this game.
Yeah, Navi have left a lot of options open in this T side, with Iem defaulting towards B. He's been, making sure that just, even if he's not been, necessarily taking space or getting entries, making sure that OG just can't flank and get aggressive and get info. So OG have been in the dark this entire map, really, and it's certainly not helped by the lack of success over on the A side. And now Navi, they're starting to just take audacious fights. Iem fighting front B, spamming mid smoke, again popping through the A main.
Every bone in OG's body is telling them they can't just keep going A, but as Quito's finding out, they can. And they will. And here they are, running it in with a double. JL and Bit have done it again. Go A till it stops working. It's that simple for Alexi right now.
I mean, that's what he's known for, one of his classic calls, He does love an A site. And when that fails, there's sometimes a B site. And now Iem, every kill matters on the exit. He will fall, but there's more players that Navi can hunt with. They'll give it some time, make sure enough has ticked off the clock, but at this point it's guaranteed, isn't it? Flashing over, chasing T-spawn. This is well worth the risk, and I say risk, it's minimal for Navi.
You do just have this inescapable feeling that there's a bit more OG could be doing to try and shut down some of these plays. Even the fact that Navi are going for A pushes so quickly means they're having to run down the T stairs. There's that early nade you can look to throw that Fiku was actually throwing in earlier on when he was over at
the time. Yes, Navi are defaulting well. They are covering these plays, but OG haven't had some sort of execute where they take back water or they explode out B main. They've just been relying on their anchors, and right now they're not delivering. So OG don't seem to have an answer for when their plan isn't going to plan. And now they have just 2 rounds left on the half to try and remedy the situation. 5 rounds isn't the end of the world on this map, but it's not been screaming like they're going to get it. Quito, an important kill, but it's not on A this time. They've swapped him with Regali. He's found the mid pick. The lurk is gone. Everyone else is focused on B for Navi. Got to boost up a rifle. This could be nice if someone tries to reposition, and they will. Iem spams them both coming out of dark off the top of the boost, and he just jumps through because at this point nothing is failing for Navi. Everything is coming up for the T side. 11 rounds merely guaranteed, as Regali won't move out of his position, and while Quito has good timing, they'll consider it.
I mean, it felt like, when you look at this OG team, if there's one player who definitely has their freedom to kind of roam around a hell of a lot, it's going to be Regali on the AWP. So the moment you saw Quito in mid, I think Navi knew that that AWP likely found itself over towards A. It's so often a move you make to problem solve this A side of the map, and that made them feel super content to assemble those boosts outside of B, knowing that they're not going to have the AWP, scoping them down over the top of it. Very good reactions, and once more, you talked about conditioning earlier on. Well, that round was like a great example of it, right? OG have so often had this AWP and a lot of resources over towards the B site, and they'll even go knocking and hunting for that AWP at the end as Iem really comes alive in that round.
Monstrous round for Iem. That's what we've been waiting to see from this guy on this team, right? Just hits some lovely spray as they try and exit on B, and then he jumps through a smoke, which is so audacious, but you have to love it at this kind of scoreline, and that's going to piss OG right off. Goes on to find the 4th kill, denies that AWP save. Regali will still be able to get it dropped over.
JL, whenever he wants the AWP, he'll just have one. He's taking the AWP immediately for the double AWP T side.
Why not? Simple's firing his off as well, so they won't expect one dark. If they had an open dark, they might even peek it. It's Fasher instead, getting curious, and he certainly could get punished. but only an MP9 won't be chasing this kill. Navi go back for a mid-take late. And here's some moves being made by Regali. It's at a nice timing, but he's actually missed the window. Thinks it's clear. They nade, which does announce their presence. That will keep him at that B bomb site. He was considering a rotation.
I just think as soon as they learn that this AWP is over towards B, that's when they're going to look to pick up the pace for the A play. Regali's been like the one guy to worry about. And so there's the kill to JL, ringing out down into dark. And yeah, look, the shuffle starting to happen right now. That bomb is up and leaving mid. They're sending Iem back from B, grouping over towards A main. Having to take the rugs route because this lower area is open. This mid creep from Nexus is kind of crazy considering they don't have middle, but it's going to work out for him. He can get peeked from the window. It's never needed. The bomb spotted on Iem down towards the T stairs.
Alexi needs to play late in this round. He can't go just yet, but his team are falling apart. So 20 seconds now, he must make a move. And he really needs both entries. Neither will present itself. And Iem just drops in for B. He has a hope. If he gets this quick kill onto Fasher, he can win this round. That smoke comes down. It helps him out. And he's found a way in. Oh, but he surrenders the round. That's a shame. Could have had a plant.
Frontman was Regali, but oftentimes dodged or avoided, struggled in a lot of these moments where the plays would just come down to retaking the A site when it's already lost and they're already a man down. So for OG, they've got to hope that they can really find some magic here on this T side, and it would have to start with this pistol round.
Ooh, this is getting caught, awkward for Iem. He gets caught by Fasher. They take a lot of space towards CT Sport, and Regali running him down, and Keto a recovery round as he finds 2 kills. Fasher finishes the job, and out of nowhere, OG come in with a bang and take that pistol round. They spot the mid-aggression, Navi with 3 players there, and they just escalate towards B. Some awkward missed USP shots. Navi can just brush it off. But we know Anubis can be T-sided at the best of times. Let's see if OG can make something out of their map pick here. As we did have, I don't know, higher expectations, I think. Navi aren't some unbeatable force right now. Although you wouldn't be able to tell that from the first half.
Yeah, you know, it's still like a team with serious challenges to face that's in its infancy, right? We don't have a grizzled, seasoned Navi squad here. This is them early on. So was hoping OG could bring more of a fight in that first half, but maybe they can course correct here in the second. We've certainly seen some wild comebacks here on Anubis since it's been added to the pool. Vitality.
Let's not talk about that one.
Ooh, out through main. Keto's trying to give them a taste of his own medicine. He's out in the A site. Nexus flanking middle. Keto was getting bullied. Oh, Nexus walking into them. And Keto gets killed by the USP, but Nexus should just alleviate all this pressure now on his mid lurk. So never to be worried about for OG. And now it's just simple, and he is deleted by the MAC-10. Nice round from the captain of OG to contain that, stop it getting weird at all. Good space taken on his push through mid. But for Navi, that was just a full eco. So this is where things are going to get a bit more interesting. As they cobble a buy together, we're going to see Simple on the Famous.
Got to have them nades, man. Let's see where he puts them. Maybe we have those aggressive A-main nades that you were talking about. Simple looks to be lining them up instantly, and I like that because it's just free damage, man. You know there's going to be players here.
He missed it. He missed it.
He missed it. Aimed a little far to the right. Ooh, that's a nice entry. Taste of Navi's own medicine. Fash has found a double kill, picking towards Dark as well. Simple somehow wins a spam. Keto can't catch a breakthrough smokes today. So Navi trying to drag this round back. This lower push is dangerous, but it is announced. Smoked off. Alexi eats that nade.
It feels like it did weirdly, you know, not a lot of damage. That was like at his feet.
Yeah, probably the lip of the stairs soaking the damage.
It is uneven ground there, so it definitely looked like he's been spared a little.
And they just go back to A, which is a really good call. And Navi at the same time make a gamble. Nothing wrong with that, but it will leave them saving here.
Regali grab a gun. No one even noticed. So he's gone ahead and armed himself with this M4, and they will move into the almost undefended A site. It's just JL here. Ooh, JL looking for a double. Only good for the first one. Simple will just full send through the molly. Navi play it very confidently in this one, and it's all left on Alexi. Even though he finds Fiku as that smoke pops, he does not want to attempt the round here, does Alexi B. He will just be saving, and so OG are making this happen over on the T side, closing the gap. That first rifle round going their way, teased them up for another freebie in the next.
And that's why T defaulting is so nice, because Navi come in with two very aggressive players at the start of the round, and they both get bopped by Fasher in that double entry, pushing A main for Bit, and then Iem facing Dark. Check these kills and how quick they come through. Just a jiggle with no flash, and that's what happens. So OG group up and they do right by those two entries. As Navi are left with near nothing.
Oh, I like the move from JL, trying to take this space. Okay. An
Still
interesting way for the round to start.
Oh, he's dead.
JL spammed out by Nexa. He didn't buy it. JL tries to, hopes that he
Is it Christmas?
believes, hopes that Nexa believes he's missed left middle. But that's not the case. And so that's a nice, easy one for Nexa, who has done it all in this round. Ima's going to try play around the smoke, but Keto coming out through Dark should have this round under wraps. Even though OG are going into both these remaining players, it shouldn't come to matter. Nice deagle out of Iem. Nade brings him down even lower. And they don't even have to take this. They can just go grab the bomb. But Nexa with this mid-wrap, got the round locked in, doesn't he? So opening moves, that is. Could try his hand at the lower peak and see what he wants to do with it. I like to follow out over towards A, so going for the AWP rifle hold, and he might look to take some space with this. Well, Simple just going to scope up down the line early on, and you can see Fasher is waiting for someone to come walking into his crosshair. There's that early nade we were talking about earlier on in the game. It's found a free 50 damage onto Regali.
Do not turn that down. Can boost over the smoke as well. It is an option. A Bit keeps control of A main with a lot of utility dumped to the start of the round. Navi have no more smokes. And OG are keeping count.
I mean, this is already a really good position to be in, right? The fact that Navi lack any real ability to slow this down outside of the Molotovs, but even they're going to get worked through quickly, and they're not as good as buying time as the smokes are. Now the util starts to come out for OG. They're applying this pressure over towards Dark. Fasher's going to look to take this. He's got Keto backing him up, and the rest of OG wait outside of main. Fasher's got to be the guy to try open this. Got to be the guy to try get it cracked open. Regali can then take lines from the main side, just dropping the smoke at his feet. Fasher goes running through the smoke, and even though Regali finds one, it is the only thing that goes OG's way here. Locked out by Navi. Alexi with a triple, and that's how they arrive back on the board.
Yeah, it's a pretty desperate hit for OG. I mean, the players, both of them go through the smoke and die before a single member of OG has even walked through B main. Those timings don't seem perfect for OG. Even though they have a left side smoke down, there's not that many players of Navi who can even face, and they barely get away with a kill. So, huge round for the captain of Alexi, the quietest player in the server, or, well, he was until that round. And OG are out of timeouts. They're running out of chance.
That one did feel weird, though. I'm inclined to agree. Desperate, I think, is a good word. And it felt desperate from nowhere as well. It didn't really feel like it had to happen as fast as it did. There's still 25 seconds left here. They try to go for, like, the element of surprise angle, right? Like
yeah,
it's a weird thing to go rushing through that dark molly, but Navi are ready for it. And I feel like, you know, the one time you're going to quickly check a smoked molly is right as it blooms, just to see if you can catch someone, you know, in the chaos, looking to move through it.
Oh, this is nice, but wow, Bit's quick to the punch. 2 headshots come through as he swings a main. And Keto, he just hates Bit right now. This is a mortal enemy in this map. Both halves, he's causing issues. And Regali was right there, but just not scoped up in time, not ready for a player that aggressive. Bit's even taking Simple Zorb, looking for a third. Ooh, Fasher gets the shot out with a jiggle, but he doesn't want to go back for more. Bit's on a safer angle now to escape. And OG bailing water from the boat in this 3-on-5. Someone needs to be a hero. Maybe it's Fiku, but jump spots on this B bomb site. He's only going to get one chance. That molly goes into Temple, or rather behind the bomb site, forcing Alexi B's reposition, but he smokes it out. So OG can't go yet. This is all a fake anyway. They're trying to take back a main, but I would not want to be running into Bit and Simple right now.
This is a real scary place to find yourself. I mean, Bit has just had full dominion over A main. It's been very impressive to watch. You know, on one side, you've kind of seen Keto, who's looked uncomfortable at the best of times, and then you've had Bit, who's like a master of this position, of this side of the map. So a case study in how to get it done. You want to watch Bit. JL denies the mid component, and Nexus left saving. This round is a non-starter for OG, and that's how it tends to go down when you get double killed off the rip, when you try to make your opening move. I mean, Bit was there very, very quickly. Must have had you know, the good spawn for that peak. Oh, Nexa. Okay, gonna survive and bring the gun with him, but that's the only thing they've got up against this scoreline, Hugo.
Yeah, this has just got to feel super comfortable for Navi. You're shutting OG out very early in a lot of these rounds, just with your A main takes. The one round that Navi really screw up in this half is the one where they insta-face Dark and A main very, very aggressively, and they get picked, and they just haven't made an error like that since. Playing still relatively aggressive, just not off of spawn. And now it's just Nexa who could get boosted up into middle, perhaps. Try and find an opening kill, but no one's even facing here. JL's all the way back in camera. What this boost does do is allow a player to walk through the smoke to the right. So Keto's going to do that while he's being covered. Oops. They need to go back and get the bomb, though. I mean, that's presuming OG are going to get much real estate in this round. They could just get slaughtered, but this double mid setup. Big entry from Nexus. Simple misses his shot. He's got to pick a Molotov. It goes down to the choke, but they're running right through. Keto won't make it out alive. Simple going back for more, and they're going to reset.
Nexa got the entry. Now he's gone back and got the bomb. OG believe they can make something of this round, and I like that they pressure mid early, and now they completely uproot it. You know, Simple heard, what, 10 feet running at him just there? So he knew that they were heavy in middle. The immediate and decisive call to go back to B might actually net a bomb plant here for OG. Ooh. They all go running at Dark, trying to pressure it. Fasher gets out with a Glock kill. It's just Simple left to get past, and that's easier said than done. He'll lock it in with this AWP. Great to see Simple in good form. As mentioned, I mean, it's been him and Bit that have been lights out in this one. Alongside them, Iem finding fantastic impact.
Yeah, a great recovery for Iem towards the end of the T side. He had a couple of crucial multi-kill rounds. The first, 10 rounds or so, he was just holding B, and Navi were just winning the A site anyway, so he didn't really, do much.
Yeah, just kind of like surplus to requirement,
just
right?
existing, to be honest. All these nades dropped over by Bit, so Simple's going to start lobbing them out towards A. Hitting Fasher, who won't expect a second. Comes through, and they swing with the nade timing. That's a nice combo for Navi.
These were the moves that, OG were kind of lacking in their CT half.
Yeah.
They did that nade. I think I saw them throw it twice. And
they peak with it as well. It's just the synergy here. It's a lot better. Simple holding for a jump across. He knows his Mac 10s. He's seen them in middle. OG have a bit of a messy buy here, and they've got to make it work. Bit very low health. Oh, he catches out on the jump, though. He sees as Simple now moves in with the orb. JL has all of middle. Even though they're right round the corner, Navi are not scared of getting split anytime soon. They can focus on this A main frag. Kito's crawling out behind the smoke. And JL's going to be able to completely rotate back into A without even being spotted.
Even that's wild,
he
isn't
wants
it?
more.
Creeping forward, he's going to knock Nexa out of the round. Kito dead over in main in the meantime, and this split is reduced to just a one-prong attack in through middle. Simple smoked off, but there is, quite the gap there. They're going to pick him around it, and Regali opens up the route to B.
They know Bit's low.
They're going to try and find him, but Bit has been a real problem in these A rounds. It feels like he's always good for a multi-kill. He's only got one to his name right now. If he can even find one more to make Ima's life easier in the clutch, that could tee up Navi for 15 here and now, and Bit looks like he might go uncleared. Bomb pulled for Regali, and Bit will find him. Does what he had to do in the round. It's left to Fiku, who's great in these clutches. He's just going to get this bomb planted with half a second to spare. Ema out through the connector, and he will overrun Fiku. When you shut down someone who's so good at giving these clutch rounds for OG, when not even that's coming through, what do you have to rely on here? 15 appears on the board for Navi, just 5 kills away from stealing OG's map pick in the series, and looking real good while they do it. It's a very even distribution. It is a real team effort out of the Navi squad right now. And the kind of heroes, the players that have these kind of specialized these looks for folks like Fiku. Often you depend on him to deliver these clutch rounds. When they're not coming through, you don't have much to grasp onto here if you're OG.
Yeah, it's a game where Navi are without a doubt favorites, but the fact that everyone is performing and everyone's had their moments, and Ima's looking far better than some of his previous games. Simple's, not hogging space, but taking plenty of opening kills, plenty of early kills with the AWP. It's just been a delight to watch for Navi, making this look like a very simple game.
I think Simple's been very accommodating.
Yeah.
I feel like I see him dropping the AWP over more to low players than ever before.
Yeah. And Bit, he's been a threat as well. Flashback in for more. He fights too. Bit always the multi-kill man right now. JO will fall. There's a way into A. It's what Navi were doing all T side. Aggressive and very early A pops. That smoke did not fall how they wanted it to, though. That just lands down in the site, I think. They're going to get some control at least. The flank is coming in. Fasher waits for it. 2 players here. Well, Simple set a flash for Ema. He's got so many nades, and he just dies instantly.
I mean, if you're Navi, you still justify floating around here and just seeing if anything's provided to you. See if they give you a reason to go for it. And Alexi just might have cooked up the reason there. Simple has got to be ready for Fasher up close in main, but it's how late this play is that looks to take Fasher by surprise.
They're doing it.
Alexi lobbing in the util. Fiku tucked in the site here, trying to play the crossfire with Fasher, and they will align. Just left to Simple, and he's not attempting this one anymore. Waiting back outside of main. Sure, he might stop the save of this one AK, making it a very expensive round. But not even that's guaranteed. OGs live to fight another day. It's the A play that works out for them. It's Fasher on the opening to do it all. 3 kills from him in the round.
Surprisingly reserved retake for Navi. Surprised to not see them, give it more of an attempt, right? There were options there. Simple to flash Ema in. Maybe he didn't want to show that they were double flanking there, but then he doesn't even go for the round when Alexi jumps in. So Navi not really on the same page on that one, it looks like. And OG, a quick A pop where they trade out fairly efficiently, and they do right by it. They close around, so that's reassuring. But they're going to need more than one. Simple spots that cross.
I like
they have
this
a one-way.
Yeah. This
he
is
won't repeat it.
A nice way to just deny this presence while still leaving the dark push open, right? Kito, usually if you smoke this, he's going to be waiting here for a solid, 10 seconds while he waits for that. Oh, that's annoying.
Disaster.
Alexi now knows they're in there, and he's got the perfect gun for the job, but Kito will deal with him.
They're just popping.
Trying trying to keep the pace up, trying to follow through on this play into the B site with Dark control taken. They felt like that was the leg up they needed. JL dead, over in Temple, and Simple creeping in. The last time it was one of these 2v3 retakes, Simple wrote it off very early on. This time, he believes, he wants to give it a go, and he's brought us back into even odds. Bit finds another. It's the two vintage Navi players looking to take this one home. Just Regali to beat, behind the pillar, dancing with them. He will keep OG alive. It's another hat-trick round from Regali to find double digits for OG.
Those are the only ones that OG win, it feels like, when Regali just goes big mode and, well, no bigger mode than that. Blinded in the open, but just safe enough to catch Simple coming around the site. Huge clutch for Regali. Something that OG needed. It's broken Navi's money. It's given them a platform here to maybe make this game interesting. It felt like Navi were going to keep this one-sided. Now OG have an opportunity. They better grab it with both hands. Full eco for Navi.
Right, rate this Zeus spot, Hugo.
Okay.
Show me Ema. I want to see.
He's down in dark. It's fine.
You're a prolific Zeus player,
this
so
one,
you know
this one you feel like it's...
Is this like a 90 damage when they swing you wide?
I've done that.
Yeah,
I've done that.
Because it looks like it could be.
I struggle on getting Zeus kills on this map, even this position, you know? And especially when they don't go there. Although, with this default set,
hold your
might
horses.
go back.
There's still options.
Yeah, you know, I like that he's trying. That's really... So it gets a 10 out of 10 for me.
For effort, 10.
Result, it's not always down to you, man. If he had a Zeus skin, different story, and I hear they're coming. Those are the rumors. Zeus case?
We can all hope. But yeah, they're going to go A. The Zeus won't even get a chance, man. Won't even get a chance.
Guess we'll never know. Next are on mid lurk. It was Alexi doing this T side as well, so captains.
I felt like the captains do love a mid lurk here.
Yeah.
You know, I think it's because as well, it's such a powerful position to hear info. You can kind of hear all around the map, so you have a very good picture as to where Navi are going, and you manipulate the hell out of the rotates just by staying alive in mid. And Nexa trusts himself to not overface here. Ooh, Simple's Deagle had a chance to do something.
Yeah. Part of the downside of being like a lurking in-game leader that the players will talk about is, oh, you're not with your team, you're not with the pack, and so you can't, have a full idea of what the site looks like, what the execute, needs to be as a result. But because it's a site at Nubis, it's not that intricate anyway. There's not that many spots CTs can efficiently play, and so, for the reasons you also gave, mid-lurking for an in-game leader on this map is definitely nice. It's important just not to go too early. And so 4 rounds separate these teams, and with no AWP and no kit in this one, Navi still don't have the perfect buy yet.
And if we're honest, their perfect buy isn't coming till right near the end of regulation time here, right? That's when their loss bonus is going to start maxing out, and that's when they're going to start to be able to pull things like the AWP out. But till that point, they're going to make do with buys like this. So not out of the woods yet, Navi, even though they've been sat on 15 for a little while, and they're all looking good, so it felt like it was only a matter of time. OG have at least laid the groundwork for a comeback. This walk through the mid-smoke is watched by Nexa and Regali. It's not just the one-man mid-hold. And we'll deal with it, and in the meantime, Keto's opened up down in dark. This is all the makings of an OG round. Alexi is the only line of defense left. Good for one, but Regali has been key on these trades. Never letting a play go unpunished. Wherever Navi looked for an advantage, Regali was there to make sure it was returned to sender.
He is so quick, isn't he? I mean, if that's an AK there, Alexi can line up 2 kills and then be able to isolate Dark. So that's still not a 1 round until Regali trades out Alexi, and Bit really shouldn't even poke his head into this one. He's not armed for the job. Exit presents itself. Will that tempt Bit for some more damage, perhaps? Regali's gone hunting. He's had enough rounds, and OG have just hit the B site very early.
I was really curious what they were going to do with the money, because Navi are in a bit of a weird spot, right?
Yeah,
where really 1 buy round is all they have, even though there's 3 rounds down the stretch before the end of this game. So they've put actually quite a bit of money into this one. buy up in the next, and you imagine that round 29 is one where you just look to save if the first fights don't go your way, to have another buy in round 30. So the path is there. It's visible for OG.
Like that jump spot for Simple. He sees the orb, he sees 2 players outside of B, and so now OG are the ones scrambling, trying to change their tune on this T side. Bit risking it all with aggressive A main, but they flash and they leave. They're hoping that pushes him back. It's done nothing of the sort, with Simple supporting as well. Navi now know this is going B. I don't want to call anything, but this is all the makings of Navi having a chance to find a force buy win here. They are in the right positions.
Oh, they're going to flash push.
Oh!
One out of Fiku before he's traded. It does work out, but only for a moment. Regali trades out over at long, and Alexi's finished off by the dark push. They're holding for Bit, who went through main right at the start of this, but Simple, if he drops mid, he would fully sell Bit in this round. So he's got to go on the wrap round. And that just means that Navi won't actually have these 2 players in a position to even give the 2v4 a look in if they wanted to.
Oh, I like the Navi had a play there, though. They went aggressive. They popped main with a flashbang. Good trading out from OG.
Regali again on that trade work over towards long, right?
Master of it.
And, you know, something that has kind of been cool there is I think, you know, you got to give props down the line, right? Like, Regali, as this game's gone on, early on it was just kind of him going huge, but as it's gone on, it feels like the others are trying to be that first point of contact and then have him there as the safe bet to at least get the trade. It's been good to see, because sometimes as you get into crunch time, your star kind of feels the pressure to be involved early. And it's the worst feeling where, you know, you're up 24-12 if you're Regali and you go for that opening pick, you know, in round 29 and round 30, and you die first. And suddenly, while you've been instrumental to the whole series, you just have to sit back, hands off the keyboard and watch. That could still happen, but with how they've been using him so far, he's not been that first point of contact. He's kind of been orbiting around his team. This does look to be one where Regali fights early, though, taking that orb down towards the T stairs and holding for a dark peek.
Yeah, and they're going to pop A. This is very early for OG yet again. Bit holding utility. He sees it coming. Molly goes in deep. He swings as the smoke comes up. Will they risk going through? This is a dangerous decision. OG still opt to do so. Simple making up his mind, but he gets caught as they swing out wide, and him and JL obliterated. Navi really should be thinking about saving to buy a blast, but Alexi's had enough. He gives it a go with 2 kills, and that puts Iem in a winnable clutch.
He's got 1v1s open, but is he ready for the mid lurk? Oh, he flicks back to it. Next are dead now. And it's the 1v1. First game for Regali on HLTV was versus Iem. And now they go down to the wire. 1v1 in this dance for the clutch. Regali with a slick reposition. Yes. Iem should not be ready for this. He's tucked himself in over towards camera. Iem slinks into the sight out through the heavens, and Regali holding the perfect angle. Molly gonna force him wide, and Iem locks him out. Experience reigns supreme in the Romanian head-to-head, and Navi pick up this map when all is said and done. Iem with a late activation across Anubis. Started slow, wasn't required in that first half, and then came into his own, winning that final 1v1 to put them on the board. Now a map up in this series, and with Navi's map pick coming down the pipeline next, they're licking their lips.
And G2, and now they just have to finish what they started to end it in 2.
And with the winner of this going on to face the loser of that G2 phase matchup, there's big challenges still ahead, right? And I think if you're a Navi fan here, you're hoping they can put this one to rest nice and cleanly. Any OG fans out there, I'll give you 2 players to keep an eye on here, Regali obviously being one of them. Yeah. And then alongside him, I think it's got to be Fasha. There's no map I've enjoyed watching Fasha play throughout his career more than Inferno. I think some of the rounds we saw him get away with on Anubis, where he runs in, just finds some like ludicrous triple opener. He does that a lot here on this map. In the pistol, Fiku and Vito open up, but Alexi and Simple will do what they can to keep the numbers even into the 2v2 now, as it's Simple and Bit out of the apartments. Dropping into the site, they're going to have a route to a plant here. Nexa might look to uproot that. He moves in, and Simple is dead. It's just bit back against the wall, and Nexa beats him to a pulp. OG, they're going to pick up the pistol.
Yeah, that's the last thing Navi expect. They expect more respect in the 2v2 there than OG just walking in, Bits holding flanks and looking at apartments, and they just stroll right into the bomb site and catch Simple setting up with a bomb. Very awkward way to lose a round considering how strong it started for Navi. Alexi gets 2 kills in middle while he's cornered, and then Simple even escapes with that Molotov to get the bomb back into A. Looked perfect for Navi, but Nexa sneaks in and steals that pistol away. A good plug-and-play map, so you know with a relative inexperience as a roster for OG that Inferno should be in their wheelhouse, even if it's been a go-to across every iteration of Navi. We obviously know that OG similarly have not had a lot of time to get prepared, only a day of prac before Copenhagen. Most teams essentially had to use Blast as a boot camp coming into Cologne. And no one's unbeatable right now. That's the benefit of it. So early in the season, so unsure of these new rosters and leaders that anyone can fall. Even OG on this anti-eco, because they've eaten another Deagle headshot. Iem, he's really woken up into this series the longer it's gone on. It's only Fiku in pit.
Call him the lone wolf because he operates oftentimes, left to his own devices and with great results, but they're expecting a lot from him in this round. He is alone down in the pit in a situation where, anything short of 3 kills here is not going to be enough for OG. There's 1, and that's the end of the line for Fiku.
Oh dear.
Well, suddenly OG have got a reason to go for this.
He was running away from it. It blew up on balcony. And yeah, you certainly tried. 2 kits, no nades, but 2 Fatmas versus 2 MP9s, the winner of the CT side right now. Simple doesn't like it. He plays with a Deagle. Fasha has good timing here. He's waiting for Nexa to group up. Simple misses that. Goes back to short. This is very awkward, but he does catch Fasha looking the wrong way. Nexa needs to clear the site quickly. He does onto Simple. He's got a kit. Simple's got the bomb for him, though. Flash out, just trying to play with him, and he will end the round. 2 kills and the clutch to boot. Simple's in with a second for Navi.
I really like how as Simple is darting back and forth between holding short and apartments, he's changing situationally between the Deagle and the Famis, right? If someone's coming up short and he gets that long-range fight, he wants the ability to delete them in 1 bullet, and he's got full faith he can do that. If they're coming out of the apartments, he feels like he fares better with the Famis, something full auto to churn them up, to slow him down. So that anti-eco goes the way of Navi, not what OG would have liked. One that they're going to be kicking themselves about because it feels like, they gave them some chances to find those swing kills in the mid-round from the aggression. Very heavy lean over here towards A. 4 players strong, just Fasha. Over on the B side of the map, he's got 1 smoke left to work with, but because he hasn't got any info over at B, we can see him dropping that utility in right now on the minimap. It's all coming out like very, very early. He has a 2nd smoke over towards spawn, but even now he's got to hold on to that one. Navi don't even look interested in probing out this side of the map, so it might never come to matter. It looks like they are leaning over towards the stack right now. With only 50 seconds left, I don't imagine they go back and try clear banana. They have to dedicate to the A play here. So they will be walking into this 4-man hold.
But if they have long control, it should be no issue for Navi. They're not going to escalate on short first. That deep smoke gives so much room for them to cross into the bomb site. The real danger is Regali here, hiding out with a Deagle. He hits 1, Fiku uncleared, and the 4th player is what catches Navi off guard. They still get the plant if they want it, but they make the perfect read. What a ballsy rotation. Knife out running through CT spawn. They estimate that Fasha has pushed down Banana.
And he realizes this, but way too late. It goes quiet over towards A, and suddenly he recognizes that they've likely taken this space. He could still win the round with a kill on the planter right now, but arriving just a second too late. And even though he does some damage to Iem, it's not going to be enough to entice Fiku into the 1v2. He's too far away, doesn't have the kit to operate with, so he will just save here.
It's more than likely that Navi expected 5 players after you see, 4 down in pit and site. But even so, they know that if we haven't been attacked by long, by now, that is our best option because we can just take the CT space and go in and rotate. Alternatively, if they try and hunt down Fiku in pit and he's stalling, he's crouching, he's not giving them the kill, by the time they actually get to his position, that 5th player, no matter where they're coming from, CT or Banana, is going to be there as well, and they'll be able to play together. Navi do a really nice job of forcing that 2-on-2 into a 2-on-1. Very close, even so. That was a force up with pistol armor, nothing more, and OG make it interesting at least, but Navi now control the economy, and OG are eco around the AK.
Yeah, they've got one flash to try set it up. And so it seems like Fiku wants to try and fight early on over for this mid control, taking a swing down through middle, flashed off the angle, and they might just lose this one AK now. They don't full commit to the fight. Regali moves in with his Deagle. That's a mid ends in a stalemate, but the rest of Navi have taken this top Banana control. They're waiting for a jiggle out from the coffins. And if they do just keep walking into B, this should be their round. That makes it a little weirder now. Navi get somewhat hesitant, but they will follow through with this B play. Move in, Fasha sees some heads. Really just staying alive is nice for Fasha here. They're assembling the boost over at spawn. They put Fiku up on it with this rifle. He's gonna have to deliver. He's gonna have to stand tall. Alexi running amok underneath him, and Navi look like they're gonna go back here. Bit has cleared out the A site. He's down in the pit. This is a power position to own. And so this is a nice, mid-round decision out of Navi just to minimize risk here.
Yeah, what a nightmare for Fiku, who just waits and waits and waits. And here's Alexi backing off, but he can't do anything about it without risking it and just jumping through that smoke. Simple might even deny the AK as well. Huge exit to give Nexa a gun, perhaps. And Navi might just accept that. Unless Bit wants to go hunting, considering his lesser weaponry. So it's not a bad eco for OG. They get out with something, but again, Navi go into a stack and decide last second, I don't like what I see. And they didn't even see the AK. Didn't even find out. So perfect rotate out, 3-1. And even though, as you just put it, the winner of this game is still in trouble given how stacked Group B is, with G2 and FaZe, the loser of which are foe. There is a lot more work to do. Navi, I would like to see them make a statement in this map and just take it cleanly if they were going to take it. Give them some confidence into that follow-up matchup. Because while the glimmers have been there for Navi with this new roster, they don't look as established as a FaZe or as a Heroic or even as a Vitality who have made changes.
I think that's to be expected, right? The nature of the changes that are undergone within Navi are, I think, far greater. The challenges that stem from them, even the transition into just being an international team. Something that for someone like Bit is just something you're flat out not used to.
Yeah.
Simple. It's been a long, long while.
It's these are the second, third, and fourth non-CIS players that Navi have ever added to the team. The only prior one being Guardian. First time this organization has ever gone international. And so going back to what has been a legendary event for Navi in Cologne, I would love to make it to the Lanxess. Big kill for Fiku, finding Iem in the smoke. Bit ahead of the util, but there's so many eyes on this position. He just about catches Fiku. Kito trying to hunt him down. Does get him with nades out. 4-on-3, Navi have long. Look at the pace.
Nexa, though, domes Alexi as he rears his head out from around the corner. JL's been spotted up through the short side. Simple, swift return to bring it back down to it.
Like they even had before in Flames, or like many other rosters have ended up with after the transfer window. So someone must emerge, someone must stand tall inside of this OG team if they are to make deep runs in tournaments. But IEM has never really been where OG have done their best work as an organization. Never made it to the playoffs of an IEM event, on LAN at least. And they came so close in Rio. Only a map away against what turned out to be the victors. Navi going for a mid-take.
For the most part, OG are kind of willing to give up this room, right? With how they're set up here, they're not really fighting for this deep mid control. It gets really awkward now that Fiku's caught like that, falling back from long. There was that gap over towards the apartments, and like even though Kito's in a position to kind of respond to players moving out, he was never in a position to cover it, and so that was always open. That sightline was always a threat. Little gaps being found and exploited by Navi, and now they turn their attention to getting this top mid control. Kito moves in, does decide to fight it. That's more like it from Kito. Does he have any more left in the tank here? Out on an island in mid, he'll claim the life of a third before he's dealt with. Now his teammates have got to finish what he started. 2v2, JL's grabbed the bomb bit, rerouting out of the apartments, going to join him on the short side. It's all eyes on Nexa here.
They've got to go quick. 15 seconds, a flash doesn't do a thing. He's covered behind the pillar and they haven't cleared him. JL runs right into Nexa, who just buys time. A few seconds will do it, and Nexa wins the round again for OG. Another massive 2K for Nexa as the close comes through, but it's all set up by Kito. He has reason to fight right now. The only remaining German in the tournament, in the competition, as Big Academy fell earlier than they would have liked.
Nice, Niels. 6 kills, brother.
Kito has a reason to fight on, and he showcases some excellent aim there in middle.
Very reassuring as well, because, you know, Navi's kind of game plan on Anubis, even if it wasn't what it was supposed to be heading into it, it just became bullying Kito, essentially, right? Getting in his head, making him look very uncomfortable on that first half when he was CT side, but here, a little more comfortable, a little cleaner from Kito. And so maybe there's a world where he can build across this series, offer a little bit more to OG, go from being a problem piece on map 1 to maybe even the solution here on the second. Down to pistols now for Navi. This is OG's chance to take the lead.
Excellent recovery if they can keep this up. Into another gun round perhaps. This should not be too much of a threat, just Simple and Bit looking to wield something. Simple always has something. I never see him with a Glock, and it's not like he's begging for drops. He'll just hemorrhage his buy in the next round for a Deagle, for a P250. If you see, woo, well, for good reason.
You want to know why?
Hey, for good reason.
Know why? Maybe he's going to show us why. Oh, Bit gets one as well.
No
Bit
way.
gets a Deag.
Just one guy.
Good reason.
Oh,
Fiku overran and the A site crumbles. The bomb, however, is down here in mid, and OG have got it under their control.
Even with the Glock, Alexi might just have this kill. Nexus so low. He didn't re-peek window, though. Nexa gets that bomb. But Alexi, this is at least a trade, if not just a straight-up eagle kill. Hits the headshot as well. And Fasha, you wanted him to do something in this game. Now's his chance.
Yeah, this has got to be his moment. He's been spotted already down in alt mid. They know that this bomb can be retrieved by Simple with no threat, with no presence of Fasha to worry about. And so that bomb now retrieved. This marks the start of a 1v3. He can't even really attempt it. They know where he is. They know where he's coming from. Every avenue is locked down right now. And so Fasha's got to go save with just a handful of Deagles for Navi. They'll find the round. And it's heartbreaking for OG. As mentioned, this is their chance to start to exert a bit of pressure on this series, a bit of pressure on this map.
And they're so confident Simple's hunting B right now. Like, he could come in late from apps and drop in with a kit. You never know. But Navi, they've got the perfect idea, the perfect read, and the perfect round off the back of Simple and Bit in tandem, hitting headshots. They've been supplying a lot of firepower in this series, haven't they? The old god of Navi. He was the nightmare up in A main back on Anubis. Keto could not get a grip on Bit. Now it's just his save gun for Fasher. Otherwise, pistols. I like the boost. Haven't seen this recently, but there was a point where everyone was checking for it, especially when there's a B smoke down. We don't have that yet, but Keto has one ready. He's holding it as he waits for noise. They nade the top. As the flash does nothing. Actually blinds JL, meaning he doesn't peek into the setup. Keto's really holding it out, not wanting to drop this. I think they saw it.
Yeah, they saw on the jiggle, and that's why the boost has been dismantled. That is a terrifying way to get peeked when you're in that boost.
I know both players are in the bomb site now. Oh, that's a nightmare. Oh. It says no smoke kill. I don't think JL could see him. Sure, Keto will grab the gun, but Navi just goes see ya. They know just from the kill feed, killing Fasher means the rifle is here. And there you go.
There's nothing else to really make this round super interesting for OG. Even if they go running into this one gun, it's Keto with no armor, alone in the B site. No one else to retrieve that, no one else to help him. He's going to have a full volley of util coming in against him. These flashes are going to start raining in. So that leaves him blind. Back of the site, puts up one. That's about what you could have expected from him there. But the round will be Navi's, and Iem even wants to add insult to injury here. Posted up in middle. There's not much to be saved. It's this one deagle out of the round, so Iem's not going to be removing much. And he knows he kind of has more to lose here, so he's just going to back away, hold some of these angles that players look to rotate through. Does miss the timing on mid. Oh, this is weird for Simple. He found himself sandwich, an OG sandwich, and Simple don't make a meal of it. Fiku dead, and now Regali followed up onto. Weird situation there towards the end, but it's still that conversion that Navi were looking for. Very, very slow start to this map for Fasher. He had the hero gun in that round, just spammed out by JL. Feels like he can't catch a break. He had the 1v3 over in alt mid that goes awry as the bomb was given up. So he's defo had, what feel like opportunities in this game, but yet to realize any of them. Orp out for Regali, who also sits 1-6, having a very strugglesome time here on the CT side with this AWP. Yeah. These two are usually front runners for OG whenever they've played Inferno in the past, so worrying signs that they're both struggling to get the ball rolling.
We've got a double app setup. This is good. Bit's been really annoying up in apartments, just getting picks out onto balconies, so they're trying to get him early. Jiggle out. Bit does not fall for it. Keto kind of needs to get out of here, but he opts to take the fight instead. Iem wins that out with the AK. Regali has to go back to Porch and inevitably even back to the bomb site, but with only him alone on the A site, he has so much to watch right now. It's a good round for OG to make a gamble. If they went and put 4B, it's not a bad decision by any means. Navi might just exec in, but the question is, will they get curious prior to that?
The gamble stacks have been really hard to work, though, because of Bit. Bit has been very, very dedicated to clearing apartments and to getting the info what's happening on this A side of the map, and I imagine this round will be no exception to that rule. So Regali does have to hang around, and he will get rewarded for his patience. The rest of Navi move in. Signaled by Bit, lobbing the util out from apartments. Moto is now smoked, and they're going to have a route to the plant here.
How do you even win this? You don't have a kit, and yeah, a little bit of util, but even Simple wants to grab a kill on this fading smoke, and he might just have it. Nexa, he's been the hero on winning these A rounds. But I don't know if OG are buying in. They realize it's too far gone. They sneak away. No kit, no hope. And Navi with a 6th. Even Ema just dying on the long smoke push there is all the info Navi need. They know the orb's locked out. They immediately moto smoke. And unless Regali makes a crazy play of jumping through that, there's no one in the bomb site to stop them. OG just put their hands up and surrender. Seeing a really solid T-side out of Navi, and that's been the most exciting part. I think Alexi has given this team some nice structure on their T-sides. It's been pretty loose, but right now, having no issue converting rounds.
Yeah, and I think, you know, Navi are making Alexi's time calling feel quite easy right now because the individuals are looking really good. So it's just letting them play this default and wait and see for, you know, where the contact comes out of OG, and then you're just kind of reacting to where you get these opening picks. Alexi's not having to get like bogged down in really micromanaging these small moves, right? Instead, it's just kind of sit pretty, hold our default, wait and see where we find the openers, and we'll go from there. This round, they get a pick over towards B. They're going to hold. They're going to wait and see what the reaction is from OG. And with each second, they'll get rewarded more and more. Sure, one's claimed back the other way by Fiku, but all this means is that Bit's likely going to look to leave the apartments, and this will end over towards B, where only Fasha resides, and he's got nothing to work with.
He's blocked the smoke, but the USP, they just spam it through, and somehow he even gets back to Coffins, but his team probably won't even be joining him at this point. Kito's going to go have a look at Spawn, but in all reality, OG should be thinking about that next round, about saving yet again. As Navi have found the gap once more. Nothing to do here but die for Fasha. 7-3 on the T half. Ooh, okay. That's something. He's on the board. He got a kill, but he won't be getting out. And even Bit, you know, with the money where it is, he could go hunting. He could take a peek into the pit and try and find one more gun on the way out. Won't have resounding consequences. OG are buying up regardless, but yeah, Bit's freedom on this.
Massive over towards A, right? You're so worried about this apps man just popping out that you're hesitant to play like these super forward mid setups. Everyone's kind of playing the trade game for Bit in apartments, but it's... This one looks to be a little more of a full frontal assault down through mid with the util. Follow-up nade as well. Thought that would do more damage to Iem, but it sails a little deep. So Ema's allowed to hang out in this cubby over in mid. OG have triple lent towards the B site. And you know, this has kind of been the problem. Is like, you know, when you're getting shut down by the default like this, it's how do you go about getting the info? Well, you kind of don't right now if you're OG. You're taking a gamble early, hoping that they pressured for some of this B control. That hasn't happened, but you're hearing JL lob the util. This is a nice mid-round move, at least, to go and retake the top of Banana. And so now they know it looks like it's not the B play.
But they're not freeing up to rotate. Nexus holding Spawn because Long's been open all round. Again, as far as they're concerned, Navi could be in their Spawn, for crying out loud.
Yeah.
It's been so passive on A. And yeah, it is ending on that A site, but again, we need multi-kills out of Fiku and Quito.
Yeah, OG are flying blind.
And again, Navi wrap long, it's perfect. As long as they go soon before Nexa regains this ground.
He's so fearful every step of the way. As you say, I mean, this whole route has been open the entire round. And now Navi try to get tricky with it, taking the arches. Nexa moving in. Timing looks good for him here. He spots that second player as well and will deal with him. Regali finally puts one up on the board and sends them out of Banana. Navi, they get the real estate over at Long, but it lulls them into a false sense of security, and they actually go into that triple B lean for OG. That's really the first time that Navi have truly looked to play into OG's hands.
Yeah, I thought Navi were just using that long smoke as a fake, and they were just going to play the fade and go back into that A site, but they didn't know that OG would triple B. In all reality, they didn't know where that AWP was for sure. And so they try and wrap the B-bomb site. They go, thanks for the space, I guess, and they don't doubt it. But as we can see, Nexa's been holding it for the entire round. And again, it's just Nexa who has to win OG all these rounds. It's felt like we've had one big 3K from Quito in a round that Nexa closed with a 2K on the A site, but that's another 2K. He's had two 3Ks. He's just been on it, man. whatever Nexa did between the maps has brought him back into the series. But are the rest of OG up for the job?
Yeah, I mean, that's the worry, right? It's great that Nexa can do this. It's great that he's the type of leader who can put up numbers to win you rounds, but is that sustainable across the course of this matchup, across this map?
Where is OG? Where is Regali?
Because, you know, one of the things we were saying about Alexi is how easy it must kind of feel for him to call right now. He's got full faith in all the individuals. Everyone's just kind of winning their straight-up fights. Nexa is having the polar opposite experience on the other side. Bit so often has been rewarded just holding for this cross back from Moto, and it's always been Fiku on the receiving end of this pick.
And he might move because he's been long smoked right now. He's still holding on to it, but we'll see if Fiku decides to adjust. If he does, he's going to just be caught for free by Bit, who won't miss this opportunity. Navi going through the smoke right now. Great shot for Alexi. That should not be so easy, but captains come through in this game.
From the pit, finds one. He's choosing the long fight right now. He's got a teammate posted, Nexa alongside him. Oh, a little awkward there, but Nexa having a worry about even his teammates. You never know who's truly on your side here. And with Keto dead down in the pit, Nexa repositions, just trying to stay alive, just trying to be a nuisance and keep harassing them from the pit. But he's spammed out by JL. Simple is repositioned up into the apartments and now looks to win this in the 1v2 that lands. But one more pause, and now we head right back into it. This is a point where OG can still break away into this first half. That money for Navi starting to run out. Finally, we have a bit more of a B focus to open up. I mean, these B players have largely just been fighting lurkers. And in the rounds where they haven't had many players over towards B, that's usually been when Navi have looked to end up here.
This is not an early exec. We still have two players in mid and abs. Bit, of course, leaving options open, but Navi are throwing a bunch of util into this B site to try and elicit a reaction, get the grenades out of OG. They've managed that. They've pulled Regali over. And Navi look like they want to go for that B group after all. So OG, they, you know, you wouldn't be surprised if you didn't see them gamble here, because we've never really seen B execute, but this is a nice belief in the call for OG. 3 players here, the AWP as well. Regali's time to shine.
Oh, he doesn't take the shot. If he did, that could have been something. He will still get it the second time around. And Fasha swinging the smoke down at spawn. Starting to find his impact, starting to find his voice a little bit in this one is Fasha. It was 0-7, now sat 5-7. Couple of multi-kill rounds in there to find them for OG. And Bit knows he can't win this. He's just hanging out, trying to hold on to this AK. So a successful hold over towards that B side of the map. That's a feel-good moment for OG, a feel-good moment for Nexa as well, as he calls for that lean over towards the B site. And it feels notable because Navi have been real fans of, you know, testing out the apartments, testing out this mid control. But perfect timing on that decision to play 3 over inside of B, out of the OG squad.
Yeah,
now they're building back into this, right? Suddenly they're in a spot where they could look to win out the half here, because as mentioned, that Navi money was almost gone going into that previous round.
What a crazy statement, considering how, you know, clean these rounds have been for Navi. It's felt like they've been stomping OG, mainly because the rounds they get away with are so decisive. They forced a lot of saves, but that has had consequences, right? OG actually have had decent money most of the half, haven't had to play all these eco rounds because they've always had a couple of guns to work with. And as you say, Navi not quite as well endowed in this round as they're left with a Mac 10 and a Tech 9. Full nades. So let's see how they decide to wield these AKs, which will be looking for opening kills. Bit especially. Between Bit, Simple, and Alexi, 6 and 1 in opening duels. They've been the whole punchers here on this T side. Good spray Fiku does a lot of damage, but it's only the lower weaponry players. They're going to pop them out. It seems like Navi want to go quick. Triple nade into the pit. Won't land a thing, but that's at least cleared a position out, and Bit does what he does best.
Man, calling the landlord because everyone else is just renting. This guy owns the apartments. Bit dropping in, sets his teammates up with a double, and even though Nexa does all he can in defensive A hat trick put up, 3 kills demanded and 3 kills gifted over, will that be enough to bring OG into this retake? Fasha
Yes.
still a long ways out. And over towards Long at JL. Holding for this, he can hear Fasha just running it up middle. That one is delivered for free. Regali suddenly throwing into the clutch, brings it down to the 1v1. Simple, looks like he wants to face this. Playing it from the short side, he goes swinging out now, and Regali is not expecting it, not ready for that. Simple with a heads-up play, just elects to take the fight head on. And Navi, at bare minimum, have won out this first half at 8-6.
Yeah,
Managing to get it done as well on a low buy, right? There wasn't a hell of a lot of firepower brought forward into that round. They had SMGs in play, a handful of AKs, and they come out looking all the better.
I love that Simple just goes for the swing there. He knows Regali's feeling the burden of the clock and is probably just running it down. He can't afford to wait any longer. OG was worth going for that 2-on-2. They had the money to sustain, and they're fighting for the last round of the half here with a decent buy, with an AWP as well.
I wonder where Bit's gonna go.
Same place
Just
every round.
Every single round.
Hey, it's been working so well. 3-0.
No, Alexi has
top multi-kills.
really seemed to adopt the mentality of if it isn't broke, don't fix it.
Yeah.
Like, if OG don't solve this problem, then we're going to do it every single round. He said no issue doing that now on both maps.
They had one app set up in the entire CT side. It was with the AWP, and it got baited by Bit's Csgo. Now,
he going to end the half with the Alexi classic.
Oh, it
the
is a
apps pop,
classic.
in they come, out they go, down into the pit. JL found first. It will fall, accomplishing nothing in this one. A rarity for Bit, who's had great successes on these apartments pushes. Iem, critical fight over on the long side. He can duck out of there, doesn't have to commit to the push, doesn't have to ever open himself up to Fasha, and can try support Simple down in the pit.
Flash right in front of him. Simple needs to swing wide with this as he dodges it, looking for the sight man. This is a great cross for Simple that I don't think they'll be aware of, but they're not exposed to him just yet. Keto's considering it as well. Waiting for Iem to come out of abs. Simple jumps up and falls down as OG saved the half right at the very end. 7 rounds is...
You want to keep their lifeline at Iem Cologne intact.
Yeah, Nexus had so many impactful multi-kills from default on A, and, well, we'll have to see if this entry power from the rest of the squad will show up in this second half, this ultra hyper important second half, as it may be OG's last half in the tournament if it doesn't go their way. Nexa with the nades, Fiku leading at the front, and Simple awaits on Long.
They're going to avoid this stack at least if they follow through with the A play. Seems like Fasha's just the guy waiting for a reaction, a banana push from Navi. Simple moving in and his teammates pressured. That's awkward here for Navi. This double setup is uprooted immediately. And Navi are in a position where, you know, if this was a rifle round, you know what they would be doing. They'd be saving. Because it's pistols, you wonder if it was going to be a different reaction, but they will just elect to hang out back on B, knowing that this round is already lost.
Yeah, cheaper helmets and a couple of nades. It's not a lot, but it's just realistic, isn't it? Navi are so out of position for this retake that OG guarantee the round off for 2 entries. Awkward timing for Simple's re-aggro because Bit gets jumped on out apps, and that's as Simple's moving forward. So he wouldn't have made that move, you know, if Bit died earlier. It put Simple out into the prying eyes of OG. Probably expecting them to be walking up banana at that point. We haven't really seen the B bomb site in this game so far, if you think about it. Navi just did so many A executes and wraps round Long, and Bit lurks out of apartments. So let's see how this banana control looks, and I want to see if Fasha remains as the B entry guy on this T side.
Yeah, I mean, you know, some of my fondest memories of watching him where he would just run up banana for ecstatic and be lights out. Like, this guy could win your rounds, 2 entries, job done.
Yeah. It's been a while, though. I mean, Roy was doing it on Fnatic when Fasher was there, so maybe it's not his real estate. For now, the MAC-10's lead, so him and Nexa get that control, and Alexi's just trying to stall it out with a smoke. He's only got 1, though. They could just pop right through. Nothing to lose for OG. The only fear is the fear of the stack. But Alexi might get caught in transition here. That's an awkward timing for him to rotate round Coffin, and the round is over. Good pop for OG, nice and confident. And Navi may as well give this another go in the next. Everyone wins.
And we're going to get a unicorn round.
Definitely.
All 10 players surviving. You love to see that.
I do wonder if with the leaks of Inferno on CS2, there's going to be any map changes. Obviously, it's visual change, a structural change, prop change for Inferno. We had that many years ago. But I wonder if the map will change.
So,
and as a result, we won't have these kind of situations. You know, it would have to be something pretty drastic, like offering more entrances into sight other than just, you know, the classic banana choke point, which obviously defines this map and this bomb site, but does lead us into this situation.
I think even just like how on Overpass there's been slight changes to angles. There's some options that don't flow the same anymore, especially for the CT side, right? I think even changes like that, you know, they don't have to be huge. I think we have to add like new lanes or anything crazy. But yeah, man, you know, there was also the one map that we didn't get to see when we went out to Seattle to go beta test the game, right? That was the one map that was obscured from us, that there was nothing on.
Slip that in there.
But no, I'm just saying, you know, we saw all the others.
Well, we saw
apart from Virgo and Anubis.
Yeah. Oh, I ran around on Anubis. They told me off. Yeah, wasn't meant to do that. But we didn't see Vertigo. I think for me, I'm just thinking that won't be in the map pool because they put it in casual. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm making that up. But in the beta, you can't play it, so not in competitive. So I wonder, everyone's wondering, Harry, if there'll be a new map on top of.
I mean, they did purchase Tuscan, as we know.
That was a long time ago, but that is true. You know, that is true. Cobble leak, maybe. Anything's possible, including another B hit for OG. This time, Navi have stacked it. 3 players, and the smoke actually comes down this time. That was what was lacking last. However, OG will still be grouping with 4 players at top B. They might just send it. And, oh, Navi are trying to gamble again. Now, the issue with this is you don't want to double save this buy, right? Like, you're buying next anyway. You'll save the armor, sure, you'll give the FAMAS another go, but this is awkward. This may be a reason for Navi to throw themselves in.
Back-to-back unicorns. That's like a unicorn and a double rainbow on the same day.
All the way across the sky?
This would be wild. I don't even think brains could exist to comprehend a unicorn double rainbow setup.
Well,
so
we won't get it.
That won't happen.
Oh. Oh.
Oh dear.
Careful.
Oh dear.
Careful. But it is all under control. OG on double dig.
Yeah, the stack just avoided both times for Navi. Kind of left them wanting a bit here. It means they're going to have the FAMAS and Galil going forward. So this like first rifle round going to feel somewhat bonusy for Navi, even though they're not the ones in that position. They're just going to play it with these saved weapons. That gives them a little more longevity, especially with how you know, saving is so prevalent here on Inferno. But OG up in the lead. Can they keep it that way as we head into this first proper look at rifles for Navi?
I hope they keep up the pace. They still have a MAC-10 as well. He's not leading. He's setting up flashes for top B. But similar to how we just saw relentless A hits for Navi on Anubis and B splits for OG on that map. I wonder if OG just go back to what they've already established on this T side. This time though, Navi fighting for top B. And they have a flash setup ready from Iem. Great grenade for Alexi. Up they go. Regali hunts the kill. He catches JL with his pants down, nades in hand. Still this flash setup ready for Alexi, but he won't commit to it. And that smoke just wards him off for now. Not too worried, because OG aren't putting any more pressure on. They're grouping back on A for a 5-on-2. Simple and Bit. Definitely the guys you'd want playing a bomb site together, but they're split right now. These are not easy positions to get multi-kills from, and Simple's even rotating all the way around on long to re-peek mid with him.
The last time Bit was here, he got caught by the abs drop, and that's what OG are going to run at him again. This is like the best counter to the under porch play.
Mac 10 first as well.
Fasher confirms the pit is clear. The reposition from Bit is really nice. When he hears that flash go over the apartments, he knows the danger he's in. He's fallen prey to it once already, so he's actually going to push forward and try to take the space back in the apartments. Nexa waiting for it, but Bit makes that fight look easy.
Now it's on.
Now the retake looks to begin. Keto snaps it out. Simple found aggressing through the short side.
Now it's off.
Already the numbers turn against you here for Navi. They write this one off. Back to the drawing board. That's at least where the saved, the saved Famus and Galil have allowed for a buy to come out in the next round. This is an option open as a result of how this, how the force buys started for Navi.
You know, you understand why Simple trusts his gut, right, as the best player in the world, but he just swings through the short smoke on his own with no support when his team is setting up long, and immediately he dies. I imagine Alexi just calls to save, right? Like Navi don't really even get to set up and make that look interesting. They have so much util, they have kits, they have decent rotate timings and apps control. I would love to see Navi given more time to actually attempt that round, but when Simple dies, the numbers just don't look good. But he felt like he had a gap. Keto had his eyes on it. And that's an awkward round to lose for Navi, because now this game is slipping through their fingers. 4 rounds in a row for OG on the top of the T side. Looking reinvigorated, looking for Ancient as our decider. And Navi, again, desperate on timeouts. 3 used.
I mean, Nexa has been the guy holding down the fort for OG, as we mentioned, but it feels like now that you're starting to get these activations out of Keto, Fiku rising up through the rankings, and even Regali opening in that last round. Slowly but surely the other pieces are falling into place for OG, no longer feeling like a one-man army. Util over towards Banana. Navi want to try and stake their claim to this side of the map. 3 strong here, but the Util does succeed in uprooting them for now. OG grouping outside of mid, but that smoke thwarts any presence they were looking to take here. They've got to respect it.
It's a good spot for Simple to deny a rush. Very difficult to flash this position. OGR moving up Banana. That looks to be the end goal here as Fiku fakes out middle. Keto makes noise in the apartments. They don't know about this being a fake. They don't have anyone in apps, so this will keep 2 at B. But Simple and Alexi with Util and the AWP. Simple looks for his shot. As I said, can't really flash this very easily. It's often going to land higher over CT. Simple should at least have an opening kill and the option to back up. Oh, great flash.
Gets him off the angle. He needs help. Simple won't get it. A run down by Nexa and Fasher. And even though Ima's here, can he offer up anything to entice Navi in for this round? There's a gap on the smoke, but nothing's being offered. Flash through. He tries his hand. Only good for 1.
I like that they try it. A lot of teams just surrender immediately, but there's worlds where Ima goes through. You get to double kill. Suddenly the round's on. You have to attempt some rounds here, as this game is just coming up so nicely for OG on T side. That's just an excellent flash for Keto, reading that angle from Simple very, very well. Because often you're not throwing the entry flash close over the wall. You're throwing it deep into CT or deep over B. I just heard OG say, full blind, Sig flash.
I mean, that is what kickstarted it all, right? Knocking Simple off the angle. It was a sick flash. They're dead on. And OG are well and truly building into this now. Still flawless on the T side since swapping over.
Yeah.
The cracks starting to show for Navi.
Simple crowd-funded. I mean, he's going for it.
They keep giving him the AWP, but you're waiting for that big simple moment.
I'll be here all day.
You know, it felt like he wasn't needed to perform in a huge way back on Anubis, but it's certainly being demanded now.
When Simple's got the AWP, I'm not leaving until the credits have run. I'm waiting for that after show. And maybe this is the round with him and Bit side by side in apartments. Bit getting blocked in, but Simple will retreat. Boost up at back B. Fasher will be up to his usual tricks, taking Banana back for the OG gang. And again, I feel like they're just going to execute because it's done them so well on this T side. Alexi will drop the molly, and you're needing JL to get a multi-kill from this boost. If Alexi makes it back to New Box, there are a lot of options. JL could flash for him once OG into B, and they're going to go right through that smoke.
Oh yeah, Alexi caught out over towards the spawn side, but JL on the boost does return that advantage to Navi, and so finally they've got that to look forward to. It's no longer a retake where losing one player signals the end of the round here. They've not been in this position yet on the CT side, and so this has got to be the time for Navi. This has got to be where they course correct and look to break back into the series. Flash is getting thrown over. Util raining through, and Iem, first man in. Regali opens, finds himself a second. It's left onto Fiku, back of the site. They will find him, but they can't deal with him. Bit eventually collects, got to run and grab the kit, but it's close, and the bomb too far away. Those few meters that Bit had to run, they'll be the ones that let down Navi. OG, another round secured. Regali with some fancy footwork to make it happen as that retake's coming in. He nails two of those players as Navi send them in to the waiting guns.
And this is such disrespect play from OG as well to go through that smoke. We were just talking about how the setup between Alexi and JL looks perfect, right? Molly primed, ready to go. It's his smoke that makes him reposition, and he gets caught just out in the open. Even though both players go 1 for 1, it's not enough. Navi are getting desperate right now. Running through a Molotov. Iem's going to get that kill at least. It's something. Relieve some pressure here from Navi, but they are down by 5 rounds. Yet to grace the CT side.
OG have slowed it right down. They're hoping that someone overextends here, but Navi don't really have a reason to bring the fight to them anymore. Go back to this double setup. Navi have been super keen to do this, right? To just leave A to the sole defense of Simple and Bit. We haven't really seen the reason as to why yet.
No.
If there ever was a time, it's now, right? The nade from Simple is very well timed, and he's got himself a second. That's another nade out from the pit. Finding good damage. Simple and Bit combined for a kill apiece, but it's Fiku and Regali left to take this one over the line. Alexi doesn't let them in, and so the first round found for Navi appears on the board on this CT side. Takes them 7 rounds deep into the second half to manage it, but they will.
Oh, just seeing Nightmare mode on this CT side for Navi. Even Simple pre-smokes that Molotov, but he throws it so deep in the corner so he can re-peek with the AWP, right? So he still has open sight lines. And they just molly him. It doesn't even get close. Fiku's molly completely burns Simple out, forcing him to re-swing and dying after 1. So, OG. They finally drop around at least, but it's really not. These aren't clean rounds for Navi. These aren't inspiring a lot of confidence. They're going to need a big streak here.
They've they've given up this top banana again. I mean, this has been what Navi have done on the B site a hell of a lot. OG have kind of loved the space they've been given over here. So throwing a bit of util out over towards A, trying to cut off info on both sides of the map. But I feel like OG just have to group and go for one of these B hits. I mean, it's worked every single time. And if you're going to keep getting this room at top banana with no threat of harassment, no threat of, you know, any sort of follow-up from Navi, I think you take that every damn time. And this round is no exception. JL boosted up. He will be checked and cleared by Fiku. And that leaves this even. But Iem through this smoke has given them a lifeline. Quito is a long way out. Nexa in the site alone. Quito still waiting for a mid-rotate that sure could arrive, but it doesn't look like it's going to. And yeah, Bits heading back through CT. So Quito's got to get a move on. Up through Banana he comes. Nexa down in the pit. They can cover each other from this setup.
Ooh.
Smoke down at the top of Banana forces Quito to try come through, try play ahead of it. He doesn't want to hang Nexa out to dry, and he will deal with Iem, that first man in. Follow-up for Quito is clean, and he'll manage the third. The one
Looking solid on T-side Inferno. And a bit of a worrying Navi here in this map. Felt like they were losing steam towards the end of Anubis. They still closed it. Now there is no coal in this train at all. Down Banana with a statement. Good Molotov, burns out Fasher. He has to smoke it, he still sticks out. JL takes a 5-on-4. Ooh, yeah, he just grabs the AK, abandoning Banana now.
The other thing that's crazy to me is, like, coming into this, I said how statistically, right, the limited look into OG that we have on Inferno, it's normally Regali and Fasher that are front runners for the team. They're both dead bottom of the board for their squad, still struggling to find their way in, and without that, it doesn't even seem to matter. It's the rest of the gang for OG that are keeping them in this, keeping their heads above water. And so this round ends as simply as that. Quito, 2 kills on a swing out at top Banana, and he has delivered map point to OG. Not just winning that clutch in the one prior, now winning them that 15th round.
What a recovery for Quito, who was the problem, you could even say, on Anubis, right? Like, consistently aggressive at A main, getting picked. Both halves, same result. Losing his head-to-heads to Bit, you know, calling for support sometimes, it still wouldn't do any favors for OG, and it felt like they could never fix that problem, and ultimately felt like the reason they lost the map. But here he has been just the expert. The most important piece of the puzzle on this T side. And with Navi forced to save a final ditch attempt to get 6 straight. We go to Ancient. Teething issues certainly with the synergy of this new Navi team getting brought into question. Beautiful transfer. And I ain't talking about the roster. But OG might have something here.
I mean, considering this was once 7-3 to Navi, this is a crazy turnaround from the OG squad. And as we say, like, spearheaded by Nexa early on, but he just hung on long enough. He dug his feet in, he dug his claws in to keep OG in the game. And now we've got the rest of the squad coming alive around him. This one has not got off to such a tremendous start for OG. Churned up as they try to leave the apartments. They're really going to try run the Apps Pop versus an Alexi B-led team. And signature move busted out against Navi, and the pretty dismal results here. So it seems like Navi will stay the course for now, at least keeping this map alive.
Just keep numbers for Navi, that's the goal, right? Keep it tight. They've got the bomb, they've got a crossfire, you know, may as well just let OG save, considering they're going to have rebuys regardless. And if Navi can get 5 alive, they don't have to worry for really the remainder of the game. Just starting their attempt to come back off on the right foot. JL goes down Banana. I think Might be able to catch OG at the bottom of middle if they go and save in T-spawn 20 seconds. They know they're not going for it. Having trouble getting up there, but Simple peeks in. They'll save the AWP either way. Regali runs.
This is a test of the metal for Navi, though, man. It's going to take a lot to remain resilient here, especially after how quickly this game feels like it's turned sour. Going to take a lot from Alexi to try and keep the different personalities within this team in check. 5 rounds between them and OG, so it is going to be an uphill battle for the Navi squad with no margin for error. For OG, that one, I think you can just forget about it, right? Kind of write it off. Yeah, we tried an app spot. We tried something a little bit faster over towards the A side of the map. Not something that we've really seen from OG on the T side just yet, and it didn't work out. So now you assume they go back to something a little slower here, working this default early, fighting for the banana control. There's Nexa there just replying to this util, keeping the attention of Navi over at the B site. Are they going to try run back the apps play? That looked to be the decision here to open up this round. Lots of players dedicated over towards the apartments and lots of bodies leaving it in bags as Navi sit pretty in the advantage again.
Yeah, now OG just have to be patient and hope they catch Navi players changing position, but everyone looks pretty entrenched right now with all this mid-info as well. Iem ready to swing off of Simple's contact and Bit with an angle that's impossible to clear without walking out of balcony. And OG don't look like they want to make a move as an individual. They want to group as a team instead. Back to the banana. And that's if they even go for this. Because if they don't, you can justify buying the next. Regali can drop a gun. Suddenly there's a hope. OG fancy their odds at a 3-on-2 though on B. However, Iem has just come back on rotation. And the question has always been on this B bomb site, the timing of this utility, as OG have disrupted it by pushing smokes and playing weird timings. This is so late, the Navi might not be ready, but that third player is still moving through. Important entry kill. Flash sets Alexi B up, but they're already crossed in. They don't look towards him. Regali's looking nowhere as he's blinded off. He does find Alexi in the end. That Molotov will force a different plant position, and Iem can maybe go through and deny it. Seconds to spare. He gets flashed through. The plant's stuck, and they get back to the site.
Oh no, but he spammed the coffins. He spammed where he mollied. And so Nexa's allowed to reposition. They get to the back of the site. Nexa and Regali left in the hot seat for OG. Regali dead immediately. And so it's Iem let off the leash, swinging through that smoke in spawn to save the day for Navi and keep them in this match that much longer. A round that gets far scarier than it felt like it had any right to, but Navi will dust themselves off, continuing to build late into this game on the CT side.
I could have gone very wrong, right? Like, this is a map where, you know, 3-on-5 on T sides, if you pick the right location, can be hyper winnable on T halves, just because of your ability to isolate with utility. And OG almost make it so. But Iem, even though he spams nothing as he comes through the smoke, he makes up for it with that big double to end. Navi now get what should be a freebie. Almost wasn't, with a German Deeg making an appearance. Simple bites back. And Navi, in all reality, only 2 gun rounds away from overtime.
These round Navi gets, there's going to be a bit of a mindset switch for OG. It's no longer, all right, let's win this now. It's like, okay, we can't lose this like this.
Yeah, and this would be elimination for OG, even though, let's not sell it too hard right now with a 4-round, 4 rounds to close this map out. If we go to overtime, that's OG facing an early exit in a series. It felt like they could long out to 3. Can they just close it with some well-placed Eagle shots? Will Alexi allow it? He falls back after the spot. There's a way in here. There's not really much util to stop this. That's an important flash to split them apart as JL finds 1 kill from the back of the site. He gets bogged down on a spray. Alexi needs something here from this off angle. They start to cross inward. He will get the bomb dropped. Runs out of ammo though, and that's another D for
no.
Fiku. A 2-on-2, they are low, but they've been armed, and they're certainly dangerous.
Yeah, simple with the AWP here. That's not really the ideal gun for the job, so he's going to look to swap it out. Just like a boomerang as a way of coming back to him, but he will trade out onto the AK. Regali and Fiku want to try swing and spawn, and they'll both nail it. Fantastically done. We know Fiku is a closer. Nexa was the man to get it all going. And it comes together in a gorgeous fashion for OG, combining at the end to do it with pistols. They will put a stop to the Navi comeback, and they long this out to make it a 3-map series. The table to open. Alexi B wanting to get involved. I mean, it was Nexa, the man at the helm of OG, that really kept them in it last time. So Alexi wants his turn in the limelight here. The dualies locked out down towards the bottom of ramp, give way to a 2v3B play, but Simple will not let them in, will not let them get up the ramp. The flashes land and leave Quito blind, locking in that pistol round for Navi and getting them off to a good start.
Yeah, that's what they need, right? Because they got the wind sucked out of their sails last map after a decent first half. They just couldn't get it going on CT side. B was a big weakness. OG were bullying it the whole time. So we need Navi to land on their feet early if they are to take this game as they really should have been favorites. Both of these teams unproven, relatively unpracticed. Both coming off of a few games at Copenhagen with these new rosters, and that's it. The pressure's certainly got to be building for Navi more so than that of OG. They are making the most of this opportunity for Eco, and OG just grouping. Going for a contact A. Bit might not have the ammo in the gun unless he's pinpoint, but it is Bit.
Yeah, I mean, look, this should just be a mow-down. This should just be the highlight clip for Bit. This shouldn't really be in a position to get out of hand. The only way it gets weird, right, is if Bit dies, say he only gets like 3, which is still sick, but if he only gets 3, there's no one nearby to go ahead and deny the bomb plants a Bit. Well, don't worry about it. He will lock in 4, and that bomb lost back in main. He buys enough time for the rotates to come in. Bit, always an overachiever, locks down against the Glocks.
4 headshots as well with that kind of spray.
Yeah, love to see that. Navi, 2-0 up. That was the easy round, though. Now things get a hell of a lot harder as OG are going to bring out the big guns. Move planned here, man.
Yeah,
like,
Rugger was microing something.
You don't call. You know, you're very. I can't think of a time I've ever seen someone call in a pause in the first rifle round of a game. So this one clearly takes a bit of management.
Well, let's see what they do with it. Fiku heading a lone B. That's a rarity in and of itself, but they'll be going for a mid take. Bit is such a nuisance with these flashes. He bounces off of Donut, and he'll get popped back in by his team from the A side. Great opener. Iem there as well to help out. This is the 1-2 punch in mid that Navi will be relying on. Simple. Oh, he just pulled back and tried to pull out a nade and got swung by Quito for the trade. He gets the bomb out. 2-on-3. Fiku with this B control. He even went through Navi's smoke with one of his own. Fiku waits for B aggression, but he'll have to be the initiator. JL on the 50-50, the first of few, and Fiku checks the wrong side. It's the MP9 to come out with a kill for Navi, leaving Quito in a clutch. He knows exactly where his first opponent is, but it's an ugly spray hitting Crouch, and Navi coming through with a sick round. JL's happy about that one. And yeah, keep your eye on Bit, because his protocol here in middle on CT side is the same every game. So but it's still so hard to beat. You feel like you get out mid, you do a donut smoke off spawn like OG did, and he just bounces a flash, but it changes every time. Sometimes he'll bounce one flash, he won't swing. Sometimes he'll bounce 2. Sometimes he'll bounce it, and then his teammate will lob one over donut from the A side, so you don't even see it coming. You think you dodge a flash, and the second one is the one he swings with. He keeps it fresh. And so if OG want to play mid off of spawns, they will be running into him and Iem. the latter of which is playing very dangerously down mid this round against pistols. But he will get away with it. Meanwhile, a BD comes in and Navi needs to hold on.
Yeah, this can't afford to start for OG in the same way that the previous map of Inferno did, where it's just Nexa with anything to offer. We need everyone else to hit the ground running here. Nexa opens up this round with his Deagle, and Fiku adds another to it. That's an unfortunate place for the gun to fall. Regali would have loved it, but irretrievable.
Orbit gets a second chance at life there. And they'll regroup in middle with the Deagles instead. They're looking for the gun. They can't find it. There's a Deag at least. Better than nothing. And Bit anchored down at Brokey. Going to move inside of the temple as well. Again, another spot. That was 2 Deagle tags, but not enough for the kill. Has left Regali, and he's being flanked. So even the bomb plant, Bit doesn't need to face it. Ooh, Regali uncomfortable and dead, frankly. Alexi makes it so, and Navi sit 4-0 up with 3 alive, with bomb plant denied. Things are, the groundwork is being laid by Navi. Let's see if these foundations set in. OG don't wait long to bring out the orb, though. Regali comes into round number 5 with it.
Yeah, it's some of the problems that we've seen for Navi, even linking back to their opening game here where they showed down versus Maus on this map. If you remember, that they were sat in a very, very comfortable CT lead that ended up getting away from them so quickly, both towards the end of the first half, where it closed up, and then it was when they moved over to the T side that they couldn't get the ball rolling. So I do think Navi have got to lay a lot of the groundwork here in this first half. Oh, Fasha, that's more like it. He was missing on Inferno. MIA was Fasha, but if you can get him switched online, suddenly OG have even more to fight with here. Nexa has walked fully through this A side of the map, but this might lead to a weird situation here. Everyone else for Navi is leaning into B. The bomb's trying to cross out, but Alexi can hear this, and he might try and react here. As they drop down into middle, he's got a chance at the backstab. Oh. Keto deals with the ramp side. Regali's caught moving through Donut, and Keto is sandwiched. Stuck between 2 Navi players, Alexi gives chase to the bomb, and Simple's locked in this fight down towards the lane. If he can deal with Keto, that opens up a route to the 2v2, and Alexi is close by in the site.
Keto's fine just to stall this. He can waste as much time as he wants, and he will even win the fight out. The bomb is already ticking down, and Alexi, he has no smoke for this. He has to find Fiku if he wants to win this. And if he did, there's no one nearby to stop him, but Alexi doesn't know that. Going out for the save, he'll be denied.
This is where they've got to showcase that they've got that staying power. OG get their first round. Navi, not out of money yet, will come through with basically the full buy. The only guy a little more limited, looking like it's JL.
Yeah, especially when we look at some of the top 5 teams and the upper echelon of Tier 1. There weren't a lot of changes, right? Rosters like G2, FaZe, and Heroic holding on. Even Vitality only making 1 move. Navi have completely uprooted everything they know and love for, not necessarily clear one-to-one upgrades in each position, just a different vibe, a different culture. But will it be different results? Will it be a devastating Cologne? Or can they pick themselves up? It's looking good so far. 4-1, despite OG getting on the board. They're playing very lax towards B in these rounds. Fasher is completely alone again. He's been bullied by Utility, and maybe by Alexi as well, as he starts to push down the ramp. Bomb outside of the A site, Bit with A main control, and Fiku with a clean headshot on that entry. They're starting to split this site. They even kill Alexi on his aggression. In all fronts, Navi fail, and OG get the bomb plant and seemingly the round.
Yeah, that's worrisome, man. This bit aggro over towards main is something you will see out of him in rounds where he's not playing middle and doing that flash setup around Donut that you spoke about earlier on in this. You're going to see him look to come through with main aggression, but he's not like super aggressive with it. He just takes a more aggressive line in a lot of rounds for Navi on their CT side of Ancient, and usually he does it very, very well. So shutting him down if you're OG, kind of getting ahead of that early on is big.
Yeah, the you know, the donut flash thing, that's more for, you know, spawn rushes, right? If you see the insta red smoke come in, you hit flashes, that's how you're going to be playing it. But Navi typically are fine either letting Iem play bottom mid alone behind the smokes, or just leaving it open and allowing Simple to pick up timings as he floats around the CT line of this map. He's often very mobile on Ancient, even in old Navi roster. Oh, 1 health on the save towards B. That bomb bloweth. This was a huge kill to facilitate the A split. And OG, they've definitely come through with some ideas in this T side. Their default is looking a little away from the typical 1-1-3. Let's see if that keeps up. Regali gets in the insta, and Donut as well. We don't have much for Navi to fight back with, just these 2 save guns. Oh, that's a check for Simple. Very speedy. Taking down the AWP. Will they throw it at the map? That would be a big play. Don't want to let your guard down, but also don't want to give Navi any more reason to win this round. They hear these rotations.
Look at how much they're just giving Simple room to work with the AWP. One of these pistols going to throw themselves into the check, and they're hoping that Simple would get the trade, but he'll fall short of it. Nexa also here in the red room needs this kill, but he just lets it get away. Alexi spots out both remaining players over at ramp, and now Navi look to give chase. Guns dropped over in the red room. JL armed with this AWP. He likes to buy these up anyway, so he might feel comfortable with this. Walking through the smoke, tries his hand at that 1v1 on the planter. Ima's now armed and dangerous as well. But Fiku's looking to take a bit of real estate over here. Crossing over towards short, this leaves him in the firing line, but it's lucrative if he can get away with the kill. Where does JL go now? Where does he try and fight next? He's scratching his head every step of the way, but he's going to look for a route in on short. He's seeing him, and he will land the shot.
No time.
1v1. There isn't time for JL, and so he will just have to run away. Fasha wins that one to the clock, just sat back in cave, playing around the bomb and letting Fiku have a bit of room to take some fights over towards short. OG, we're never worried.
Yeah, that's a great eco for Navi on one hand, right? They come in with an AWP and an M4, and they find a 5-on-4. They trade out really efficiently in red, but 2v2 and OG just batten down the hatches. This shot is crazy from Simple. Perfect pre-aim. But reassuring to see the reactivation of Fasha, closing some rounds here for OG. Looking like we have a mid-take here for Navi. Emo with the spawn, bit back behind the smoke, but again pops out with a flash over the top. And Keto gets deep, but not for long. Bit can continue to spam as well through the smoke. He drops the bomb. Fasha barely alive right now, and even the A main player getting picked. So this split has been denied near instantly. That's a shot out of nowhere for Fasha, but is it going to mean much in the grand scheme?
Gonna give a bit of room to Regali. See if he's able to find anything on his journey with this AWP, and he is getting pushed by Bit. He's just started to back out of there, so the timing on this is awkward for Regali. He was just holding a deep line in through main. On his most recent check, he doesn't even believe they could be pushing. But this might just be a non-starter of a round.
Bit sending it, man. This is crazy confident. But he might find the backstab. I wonder if he takes a knife. Oh, starts to run, has to get the shot instantly, and Fashion was coming back to regroup. Denied by Bit with 3. Bit has been probably the most consistent player of this series for Navi. If you look across all 3 maps, right? On Anubis, he was winning them the T side single-handedly. Go to Inferno, and he was, you know, the one consistency on T there as well with his constant apartment picks. Okay, sure, CT side didn't really get a lot done. Him and Simple were kind of liabilities over on the A side, but playing it a lot. You know, OG were playing it a lot towards B anyway, leaving them saving. And he started this map very strong too. Again, have this setup towards a donut flash. Keto runs right through. He almost gets there. If he swap places in the smoke, I like his idea. but Iem just swings out in time, and I think Keita got a little bit lost on the wall. That smoke for Alexi will scare them out of middle. They don't want to get peeked by top heaven. And Navi reassert control over middle, forcing OG back through the spawn.
It's a cool idea from Keto, and I see the vision. But
Yeah.
I don't know, both times I've seen him attempt it, the timing for him to actually make that smoke in time hinges on him having the knife pulled the entire run-up. So
Yeah.
he's not even gone out by the time he's at that donut smoke, right? And so even giving that half a second where you're pulling out the AK, that's enough time for Iem to find him. That's enough time for him to get shut down. You see what he's attempting to do, but I don't know if he's going to find that window like he thinks he will.
What a volley, Exec. How does he escape? 2 Molotovs. It will give open plant. That's something here for OG. The spam will do nothing. They know about Alexi and Cave, but they're waiting for the long smoke fade. That's where 2 CTs sit and the AWP. We need
This is
real
awkward
estate here.
positioning, yeah.
They hunt down Alexi. That was their only option.
Had to go fight for something. They had to take some real estate here, and they've at least robbed Cave. Fasher is now here as well,
This is
having rooted
awkward.
in through lane. So you've got both your players set up on the Cave side. Fasher's not knowing about, but Regali is. Quick work made of the first man in, and Regali just keeps on giving. Simple's got a tuck tail and run for the hills. OG managed to pull back this round. They might have gone to quite the deficit after that mid play is shut down. But the Molly exec into B combined with that decision in the moment to go and take the space away at Cave, tease them up lovely, and then it's Regali to put a lid on it.
Yeah, it's just so unexpected to see both players in Cave with that kind of plant. It's desperate for OG. They realize they have to take something back. If they don't have Cave, there's nowhere to play, right, with that bomb plant. They have to go back to ramp, and they're just going to get smoked or mollied off and lose the round. So Regali with some sick shooting, but Navi, they save the AWP. And that's all they're going to have here. AWP into a bunch of pistols. We've seen Simple float around a lot when he's had this, but unfortunately for him, he's deep peeking A main. There's no one here.
And I do just want to reiterate, in the opening game that we saw from Navi where they played Mousy, it was the T side that was deeply problematic, where they couldn't get anything going. Navi got 2 rounds on that T side. So they've got to get more mileage here in the first half.
It's a big grab. OG just want to contact backup ramp. They've got a window, they've got an opportunity. JL's even getting tagged by the spam, but Alexi, either he has to nail this opening shot or the rifle will do it instead. That'll bait them into the pistol, and they swing together. JL is killing everyone in this round. 4 frags, and they are right behind Fasher. He's looking to get out through middle. Just try and hunt down some pistol players elsewhere. But this round is already Navi's. Ooh, thanks to JL.
Yeah, very nicely done, and like what a time for it. JL has given us some great games since moving into Navi. I think he's looked like the player that's kind of getting accustomed to it the best, but he's had a few swings and misses in this series. And so to see him offer up this is monumental for Navi in a round that they really had nothing to depend on. It's just his Deagle that does it all, right? He gets that first kill with the Deag, arms himself with the AK, and then goes on a tear. There's the replay of this fight. Keto didn't realize it in that moment, but that swing and that peek gave JL the tools necessary to win the whole damn thing for Navi. And so a well-earned fist bump, I think. That's going to allow them to maintain this lead over on the CT side. And suddenly, you breathe a little easier if you're Navi. I also think it makes this B site that much more terrifying to deal with if you're OG, right? The presence of having JL switched online. Him and Alexi like to play double cave setups, like to try and challenge for this lane control. And so maybe that's something they're going to feel more comfortable attempting here as we continue on. Triple mid. This will be the round, I guess, where they look to jump up and fight for lane, right? When they don't get faced at middle, they want to try and fight for this control. It was spotted. And so might have second thoughts about this now. Flashed in by his teammates on mid. Nexa.
Worth, to be honest.
Through Fasher, deletes Bit.
Fasher was dead anyway. Like, Bit was about to finish that kill off, but at least he gets spammed through. Huge grenade down ramp. There's no armor left, so they get turned into mush. Nexa needs a pick here, but Navi are not biting yet. JL, curious, jiggling, but yet to commit. And they have to cross past Cave to get the other rifle. They're not even going to risk doing that. So OG, contact up the ramp with Deagles, hoping for the best. There's JL finally swinging out, and he drops the AK. It gets shuffled along shore, but Alexi is wasting their time and drawing them into JL. Simple even hits that one and goes having... The reason I bring this up is actually reassuring to see Navi hold so strong on the CT side of this map.
Back to the drawing board for OG to try and realize the T-side dream. Try and slow down this aggro through the cave, but they run up the ramp into Simple's AWP. Smoking off the cave plays good.
Alexi.
That is a crazy move coming out from Alexi.
It works.
As he barrels through the smoke into the site, but he offers up all the kills needed, and Regali is left all out on an island here, all alone in mid, wondering what went so wrong. This round instantly torn away the moment OG showed their head up the ramp. And Alexi making a play like that, I mean, you love him for it. Wants to try and exert a bit of control over the site, realizes, right, that with that cave smoke coming in, if they just give up the plant, it's kind of a weird round. You're maybe giving OG more chances than you would have liked. You're giving them that cash injection, giving them the chance to go back and play around the bomb when they know they had been trapped in cave. And so he makes the best out of a very bad situation there.
Especially when they're hunting down Simple, because he's just fired off the AWP. The timing of him jumping out is perfect, because they're all eyes on Simple. They hunt him down, and as you said, they would have had so much space if he doesn't make that play, but he goes through, trades out Simple, even kills the last guy up the ramp. Makes it look really, really easy. That's a lovely flick tap. And Navi, they are making a statement, as really they should have done in this series. 8-4, but it feels more one-sided than that.
Yeah.
And it is about to be.
I just get the vibe that nothing is sacred, nothing's set in stone in this matchup. So I don't feel safe yet, but Navi are certainly making a good case for themselves here. Said they had to do a lot of the work in this first half. And they're at least managing that side of it.
Iem has seen all of this. He knows they're in cave right now. Oh, there's a check for Viku, but Bit bites back. And Iem hits his tap. He's got all the info in the world, like a spinning top right now. Just not as deadly. Vasha will bleed him out with the Tech 9, and Nexa coming back to join him in middle.
Ooh. Doesn't want to fall to the dig here, and so he simply won't. And there's Simple moving in from the red room to lend a helping hand. Bit it has been a joy to watch, and considering, whenever we've had interviews with Blade, he's kind of talked as Bit, being the one who had the biggest adjustment to go through here, right? And I think he's even said in interviews how he's been impressed watching him every day, but the thoughts not quite consistent in coming out in English just yet for Bit.
No.
Not all the time. But I got to say, with the performances he's been giving, you'll take it. You'll take it every damn day.
Yeah.
And he has been incredibly self-sufficient across these games.
Well, they've put him in some very good positions
Yeah.
to just play on his own, right? Like, even on the T side of Inferno, it showed that what he's been doing typically towards A and middle on this CT half. He's been fine to operate solo. This is nice. OG, oh, you'd think that JL wouldn't expect it, but he crouch peeks it to perfection. They don't know about the second man, though. Oh, Regali wanted to hold that shot for rotations, but he has to take the kill as Alexi turns around, and OG have been given away into B.
Yeah, you feel like you've been sold a little bit there if you're Alexi. They sneak up ramp on the timing, and that's given a route to the plant now. You don't want this one gap that Regali finds to be OG's way back into the T side. JL trying to make up for it as he fights back from long. Navi now all arriving. They've got 2 more flashes to try and kickstart this retake. Viku tucked in at the site, smoke falling in the mouth of cave, so Viku is all alone as he takes these fights, but it doesn't come to matter as Viku puts on a show. 3 kills to his name, and he's looking for number 4. JL boxed in, trapped at long, won't get finished off by Fiku, but the round is already won. Fiku does enough, stands the test of time in that B-hold. And that's a pat on the back for the man as OG get their 5th on his back.
Clutch round out of Fiku. He hit some absolute bangers, and that could save OG's chances at the end of this half. This was about to be an 11-4. Now a 9-6 presents itself, all thanks to Fiku.
The thing that's so crazy about that as well is, his teammate's been smoked off at Cave. The ramp player doesn't want to face because he's left to play around the bombs. So Fiku is, in that moment, 1v4. And he navigates it with expert precision. Just full knowledge of when and where he's going to get swung from. And now Pito, that's more like it. To deal with this mid setup that early on was hard countering him, he goes about it a different way. No longer trying to beat the timing into Donut. He fights from behind the boxes in middle and knocks Iem out of the round. Now he's got position in Donut. Even though Navi are considering this, it's a lot of pressure put on Simple over in A.
Yeah, and he's just lost that timing on the cross. Oh, saves it though. Keto creeps in, and it's not like his team were really ready to go on A main. They were pulled back pretty far. Uncertain about Simple's position. He swaps out to the AK now. Aggression down the ramp. Regali's been waiting for it. We've seen 3 different players play in the pocket waiting for a push, and Alexi might just give it to him, but he wins it on very low health. Simple doesn't know how deep they've gotten. He's about to find out. That shot is a warning shot to Simple. He will hold off, wait for his squad.
This is really awkward. With no util, what are you meant to do here if you're OG? You kind of need to go and clear one of these positions. You've got to go fight for some real estate, and Navi have got it all locked in. They control the land right now. Alexi nails one from CT. Both these remaining players are low, but it's still a tall task ahead of Nexa. He's fighting blind, and JL... No, Navi have not been immune to struggles on the T side, but it's all looked a bit more composed for Navi in this game, and this is where the pressure is really on for OG. They're on the back foot, and now they're behind in the pistol round as well. Regali's missed his timing with the backstab, and it's just Fiku left to withstand the A play. Dominant pistol round here from Navi. This is how you want to open up your final half in this series. It is dominant all across the board. And even though they lose Iem, it won't make a damn bit of difference to this pistol. Navi have already locked this in. Regali is trying to save. Not even that's guaranteed. Couple of kills off the dual Berettas. But this weird flank from JL. JL's in cave, the bomb's on A. Why is he there? Not even he knows, but he gets rewarded for it. And so Navi pick up right where they left off. Yeah, back to their winning ways on the T side now.
Yeah, Simple's had some trouble in this series, right? I mean, in general, this has been his lowest rated year since 2016. His form has been a little bit off in 2023. And that's, as well alongside Navi's recent drop-off in the last few months, but Bit has been the consistent piece of this team, and in this third map, JL has absolutely come alive. 17-4, he was a rock towards that B-bomb site. He would not let them in without a multi-kill. Considered every timing up ramp. He was brutal. So it's really reassuring to see Iem come through with a 3K on the pistol. Everyone's pulling their weight here for Navi. And OG, a force up. They've always been forcing second round CT side in this series, even when Navi have taken full ecos themselves, been relatively calm with the investments. OG don't feel like they have the breathing room to do so, to allow Navi to have a free round. They need to find this force. Navi is so spread out right now, covering all fronts, leaving no avenues open.
Navi have shown to be big fans of playing it really to the extremities of the clock here, and the way they're trying to deal with the anti-eco is no exception. very late on this play in towards A, and Fasha can hear this. He can hear the util back in main, but he's got his work cut out for him over in Donut. Would have loved more from Fasha there, but it's just the one and done on his 5-7. Plant now found for Alexi. And Navi teed up to stick the landing up against this force. Swing onto Regali, not able to punish it, not able to deal with that peak, and that's really the only chance that Navi had to give you here. Will land a tag. That was actually a collateral all the way back in main. Bit takes on through the smoke, but it won't matter. It looks cool. That's about it for OG. And so this is going to leave them with next to no wiggle room to save this, to try and have their second win. There's no top-performing Nexa in sight to save them this time around. It's going to have to be someone else to raise the bar, to bring them back in. And if that doesn't happen, Navi are going to walk all over them here.
Yeah, there's not even a double-digit player here in this map for OG, which doesn't scream of any savior here in the second half and in their last chance in Cologne. I said it earlier in the series, but even though they're multiple games off of that spot, OG, an organization that's never entered the playoffs of an IEM on LAN, and while they got so close in Rio, it seems like Cologne is not for them. Not this time, at least. Navi just need to keep it clean on this round. Anti-eco, double facing Cave, Fasha wide, hits some bangers with a 5-7. That is not bad. But if more players push up, Navi are still holding the extremities. Bomb gets retrieved.
This is a really horrid way for the round to have started, though. Like, Navi just going to have to group here. Just going to have to group and commit to a play. They don't have the manpower to be spread out holding a default anymore, and so this gives holes that OG can try and exploit.
I still feel like in a weird, gross sense, Navi is somehow the favorites of this round just because of the mini-map, right? Yeah, OG know what's going on, but they don't have anyone in the bomb site, and Navi are about to execute, so they'll get a plant, they'll get to pick their post plants, and OG will have to time a really nice retake altogether. They're just hoping for a random deagle shot to land at this point. In comes the execute. As long as they get this bomb plant, there should be no way in for OG unless the flank catches them off guard. Simple spots it. That could have gone very wrong.
Yeah, that could have been the kill that decided everything. Instead, it's a trade. Oh, Keto, one step further. JL alone.
Wow.
And he'll get silenced with just the pistols. OG manage it. And Rugger's even yelling down the line. Yeah. OG trying to get pumped up on the back of that. That's not a round they're supposed to win, but some well-played shots from Fasha. Keto getting gifted a gun and putting it to use on that wraparound through the cave. They make Navi go real quiet real quickly.
Yeah, I can't believe Navi get so caught off guard by that flank right there. A nades out on Simple when he's looking at it, and given how much room OG gave them, it was all because they knew it was a B play. They were waiting for the flank so they could all attack together. Keto hit some extremely important shots on this flank. And that's a bit of a disaster for Navi, but it can all be alleviated with a round win, and they bring some pace into middle. Fasha fighting forward. Rugger tried to inject energy back into this team. It's a final-ditch attempt to pull a huge comeback. Fasha could have been the guy to start it. Another double to open, but it gets awkward in Cave.
Yeah, not really how you want Fiku to go about losing this real estate. Doesn't even net him a whole lot of info. It just creates questions for OG, but they are able to contain it. Nexa doesn't let JL take that push any further. And so now for Iem and Bit, it's just a grouping back here towards A. They've got one smoke, so they've got to pick an angle. What one do they want to get rid of, Donut or CT? And they've got to commit. Bit of a shame as well, because there is that smoke back towards T-spawn, but that's way too far away to even think about now. So you're able to lock out one of these angles. Keto fighting ahead, trying to play past the smoke. He ends up getting hit by it, and that's opened up a route to the bomb plant now. The nade is good. That's going to do a lot of damage. Bit is very wounded, very low, but he's got a gap over this smoke to play around. He's hoping that this can be the kill that tips the scales back in Navi's favor. Just leaves the angle for a moment, and now concedes it entirely, falling to the CT swing. It's all on Iem, out of temple. He's whittled down, and Fasha, another multi-kill round. Is he finally starting to come alive right as it looked like the doors were going to close? Fasher is keeping OG in this. We said they didn't have a hero player to look to. They didn't have that, man, really, you know, inspiring confidence in the troops. But in these last 2 rounds, Fasher has been that guy.
Yeah, and he's had a pretty quiet series, so it was about time to see him step up with some multi-kills. It still could be too late, but OG are believing. Navi now put to pistols as well. So OG get to further establish some control of this economy. Redeem a free ticket. Take a free ride on an anti-eco. And it just seems like Navi want to pummel out of an A main together. Now this is actually worrying timing. They throw the A main smoke, and then Keto goes back to Donut because they want to re-clear middle together. There's a huge window of opportunity for Navi, and the sooner they go, the more control they're going to get. Fasher rotates back into position. Oh, that smoke is huge. Navi might have to go through. They've still left JL to look at B. He's firing off deagle shots right now, but it's not moving anyone from OG. And Navi is just having to wait out this smoke while JL gets more control, but he's about to walk into an unfavorable fight. And Regali misses his chance. So JL still keeps eyes on B for now.
He will fall. They're about to clear the lane, but it's right in tandem with when Navi are making this A play happen. Fasher's all the way back in at the spawn. He swings it wide, but ends up going down. Bit is already deeper than he was ready for. Important spam for Keto. Denies the plant. Right now, it's really only that CT plant open, and the bomb gets away from Navi. All left onto Just Simple, who has bypassed them with a spawn flank. Fiku having to turn to spot this, calling for support from Regali, and they swing him together to put a stop to that clutch attempt. One of the problems for Navi has been resilience, has been that staying power in a series. OG and now displaying glimmers of hope, bits of confidence, these little moves to deny moments that Navi might usually feel comfortable in.
Yeah, I like that OG get active there, right? They don't just sit back on their laurels and hope for their individuals to shine. They group up in middle with 3 players. Yes, it leaves a big gap, but they fix it up in time, and Navi won't even get a bomb plant in that round. When Keita got rushed through that donut smoke, I heard him yell across the room, "Donut," top of his lungs. OG, they are not making light of this situation. They are grabbing it by the horns. And even as Navi try and buck them off, this game goes on. If you want to face FaZe, you have to fight for it. Nexa doesn't know, but JL's crept up, and JL knows he's got the opportunity as well. The world on his shoulders on that entry, and Nexa will deny it. Good reaction from Simple, hits that shot on the re-swing. There's no bomb though, so Navi are far from a commitment. They leave Alexi at B, and they will group up back through T-spawn for this late B hit. That B smoke timing's not that bad for Navi. They can still use that to set up a smoke on Simple and execute together. OG leaning towards a more retake setup. No one can flash the CT lane to give them re-peeks though. And Navi are getting in.
Yeah, they only have 1 smoke, so that's why they've elected to all come through cave, with the exception of Simple, who lobbed the util over. He provides the cover with the smoke so they can cross in and get the bomb down, but looking to try take some real estate. They want to fight Fiku at long, and they will deal with him. It gets a bit awkward there in that head-to-head. Alexi, important kill. Fasher cancelled out of that A-side round in the one prior. This time he wants to have a bit more of a say in how the round pans out. Tries to fight Cave, but it's an ugly one. There's Regali's AWP. Teeing up Keto to start taking space. Simple's fighting from the ramp, and Iem has a gap around this smoke. Regali left up in the 1v1, and it's Iem to find 13 for Navi. What a time for him to hold his own in that clutch. It gets awkward that round. You were really operating within limitations if you're Navi, and they're able to squeak one past OG. Now the money even gets called into question too, Hugo. OG, they're going to be investing here just fine, but it's if they lose this round, suddenly this comeback, the rounds that they've been chaining together, the belief that they have, it all gets shattered.
And they know they have a massive opportunity. Blade is really laying down the law as well. Making it clear to absolutely everyone, Navi win this round. Not only do they find 14, they literally put OG back on pistols and essentially set themselves up for elimination in the tournament. So they cannot waste this opportunity. A big thank you to Iem for clutching that round out. OG were just trading their way so efficiently back into that retake on B. We have an AWP out for Regali at least, but he has gone cold in this third map after a very strong series. Can he find himself in the position to succeed? Starting B is nice.
Fiku's had a couple of awkward rounds over here towards the cave. He was really close on that spam.
Can do a lot of damage through the wood. Lexi just wants to push him out of the entire room. They go for a 50-50.
Navi are just grouping, man. They're bringing the bomb back. Now it's just Alexi outside of this B site, and he's going to keep the pressure applied.
Keto has all these nades, but I fear he'll never get to use them because Navi are not going to announce this. They're going to be throwing any util they've got from outside of A main. They're already dropping it all over. So JL can throw this execute. And Keto, he probably feels that even if he hears a smoke come down, he doesn't want to pull a molly and drop it. Oh, the smoke comes before anything is thrown from Navi. If that's a few seconds later, it's a very different story. He knows Navi needs to go. He'll molly the choke point. They run into the MP9. They get churned up. 2 kills for Keto, trying to grab a gun on his way out. It's getting desperate.
Smoking their way, and Navi now have to respect it in the 2v5. What are they even meant to do here? Keto, great util from him. And with that swing, bringing JL down so low, this isn't a round you even feel like you can attempt anymore if you're Navi, even though they get one on the exit. Where do they go from here? Fiku nearly gives them this fight in mid. But he knows now just staying alive is enough. Navi have wrote this one off. And it's all thanks to Keto, who had spectacular timing on that util over the wall.
Sees the exec and the molly is the cherry on top. Keto's got to do it again, though. So they're coming back for more. It's only pistols with a 1 AK saved from Simple. JL's Mac 10 alone on B, trying to make a ruckus.
This series started with Navi trying to bully Keto. They're trying to do it again here on the third map, but he's got a bit more fight in him. Support moving over from Donut, but he'll hold the line with a second, and then Fasher, it's nice and easy for him to deal with Bit.
Navi are making us sweat right now. And OG are stepping up to the plate right when everyone is ready to write them off. Looking for a 5th round on the CD side, and they've got it. This comeback is materializing. And Navi need an answer now. No AWP on this T side either. They've not had the opportunity, and this round is no exception.
I mean, I'm starting to get worried, man. I'm starting to get worried. Navi are too. They call in attack pause. A chance to mull this one over to Torcat into the ring. Slowly but surely, right? This once quiet, this once muted OG team have got a reason to fight again. Full mid take for OG. No one at A early. They want ownership of middle. They want to remove this from Navi's arsenal. And Fasher creeps up close. He's going to get spammed down low. Won't return fire. And he just narrowly looks to escape mid.
Somehow it's Simple that ends off worse in that engagement. Keto is covering with spam.
That's huge. The fact that he even gets out and stays alive, right? Because if you find Fasher, if you find that guy who's been, you know, putting up multi-kills for OG, it renews your faith in the round for Navi. It gives you that man advantage, and OG felt like they would have had no way to counter that. Instead, it's kept even. Navi not even sure if they've done damage over here in middle.
They know they've received it. Simple's going to be stifled in this round, and he's had to give up his AK. Not what you want in another crucial round. They're all crucial at this point. Mid-take coming through, but there's no red smoke at the moment. They only have one on the T side. They don't want to waste it. Coming through this donut split, perhaps.
Oh, this could get really awkward, man. Keto might have jump spotted mid. He might know that they've made it towards donut, but it's Fasha here who's super low on health. Keto either needs to bait for him to set him up, or Fasha's got to be that first. Oh, now the only point of contact, low HP, and that was the chance at a multi-kill. You were not going to get a better opportunity to churn through Navi than that. They line up for him, but he's only able to get one out of it. And so now a man down for OG. Money anything but stable. Going to float around and see if anything is given from the Navi ranks, but they know that they cannot justify giving this retake a go, and so this one comes up in favor of Navi.
I feel like they could have justified just a little more of a peek in, right? Send one of the rifles to roam and have a look. Alexi missed his smoke on that rotation, trying to cut off the B players, make it look like they're lurking through red, even though no one was. And that could have been a way in for OG. They had far better timing on their CT rotate. Next, so this is nice. Exits and upgrades can make all the difference. Get yourself a better gun and take away Navi's, but you will not be able to do so. 14-10.
And then having to start streaking them together. If they fall short now, this is a Navi win, locked, loaded, and ready to go.
Oh, this is such a great call. They're doing it out of spawn, knowing that OG start heavy middle. Look how much room Navi are going to get. They're going to have the bomb site. Regali's throwing himself through the smoke. Desperate times called the most desperate of measures, and Regali's got the goods. 2 kills before the molly burns him out, but still OG throwing themselves into the bomb site, getting traded 1-for-1 every single time. 2-on-2 now for the round.
Iem's been spotted over here at Big Box. That's the bomb. They know that if they find him here while they've got this 2v1, that could be the round. So they really want to try and force a fight out of him. But Iem takes those fights and he wins them. Turning nothing into gold right now is Iem. Got that Midas touch, and Fiku walking in, finds the bomb, but Simple with the backstab delivers the all-in.
To eliminate OG. And Navi, they look good for it right now.
Are they just going to run back the A play again? They want to. They just want to run it down, send it home, full send on the A play, and this time no AWP heroics from Regali. Fasha dead, Keto falls. Navi look to send a message in this round, and it rings out all across Cologne that they're here to play. OG crumble as this one, they try to push the distance, but they can't muster up the courage to battle back against Navi. A much better performance here across the board, one that puts a lot more faith in you in this third map.